Alrighty, we are going here. Fingers crossed we don't get a crash this week. Alright, so we are continuing. How's it going, Dragon? What's up, Photographer? What's up, Moose? We are continuing with our ongoing Germany Vicky 3 game, where we just came out of World War I as the victor. It ended up resulting in a minor peace. Concessions were minor compared to what was originally demanded, but the war didn't go fully out. France's economy essentially collapsed due to our naval warfare, and a peace was signed. In that deal, we did get Alsace-Lorraine. That was given to us. It was the main thing we pushed for in the conference, and we did get it. In addition to that, our member of our customs union and good allies in the Kingdom of Siam also took all of Vietnam, so they're very powerful too. So we're in very good shape. The only remaining Germanic state that is not currently in the empire is, of course, Bavaria. And before this campaign began, I put out a post which was basically saying that we plan to march to Stockholm to Bavaria, communists, and of course the rest of the Bavarians to be united. The issue is the game decided we're friendly with communists. Beautiful features from the Vicky 3 release. So we can't go to war with them yet. I don't know. We had bad relations with them, now we don't. It's fucking bullshit. So we are going to immediately go to war with Bavaria, though. That we will do. So we're going to start to play. It's going to give us a fuckload of infamy. And I mean a fuckload of infamy. But it's time to unite the fatherland. We're not going to wait anymore. We'll mobilize our troops. Having freshly fought on the front with Alsace-Lorraine and Normandy and Africa and Siam, we have many veterans who would be chomping at the bit for a chance to incorporate the last of their Germanic princes and get rid of the king in Bavaria, who's well known to have fired on his own people. When there were protests across the German states, the king of Bavaria attacked his own citizens who were crying out for a unified Germanic nation, and that we cannot stand. He will be put on trial and dealt with accordingly. Also, a couple notes on some things that have happened, RP-wise. So during the war, when we fought the First World War, also I gotta do some things. I'm gonna start ranting and then our economy won't be ready and then we're gonna get taught some Diplo. So give me a quick second. There's some important stuff that needs to be explained so y'all understand what the fuck is going on here. All this excess, we need to capitalize on all those exports right now before other people take those markets. Go to the last of the lead, coffee, then a bit more tea. And then of course we'll need all the oil we can get our fucking hands on. In terms of our construction, we really need more electricity, but let's take a quick look, one moment. Steel. And then we're going to need a lot more electricity. Steel comes first, though. So we're going to build an absolute ridiculous amount. We're exporting 20,000 steel, by the way. Are we the #1 producer? We're not. We're very close, though. We're going to go over it right now, and we're going to expand our steel manufacturing very briefly. We're going to go ahead and do 40. We'll build some more power plants as well. And then we'll go from there. We are running a bit of a surplus. It won't last for long when we're in the war. And in addition to that, we have all that debt we took on from Austria and the Spanish. All right, let me go over a few things before we get going. So the notable thing that happened is in the middle of that World War when we were fighting, it went on for 3.5, almost 4 years. Bismarck was at the helm of Germany at the time with the general staff. Now, I didn't talk about it in the war, but I already kind of pre-planned it out. What essentially happened, if you remember, is there was an election in the middle of the war, right? And who won that election? It was the liberal wing, the Free-Minded People's Party and the SDP. We have a very liberal government in power. Now, RP-wise, what we're going to basically go with is that Oscar von Hohenzollern, who's our Kaiser right now, he's a reformer. He's very liberal. So he's actually like supporting a reform movement within Germany. What happened in the war, though, was when this new government, the Free-Minded Party and the SDP, took power, the general staff and Bismarck were defeated to cede power to the new government. They basically just said, like, you got elected, you're in power in the Bundestag, but we're not going to basically hand over the reins of the government. So Bismarck and the general staff of the German military effectively ran an illegitimate government for a year and a half during the war. They will, of course, justify it reasonably that it was a world war, there was no time to transition to a liberal government, and fears of, potentially backing out of the war. However, at the end of the day, they didn't honor the Constitution, and as such, a large portion of the German general staff, including Bismarck, have all been arrested. So he's in prison right now and is awaiting trial. The current government is the Liberal Party, who is running a platform of liberal reform, not radical reform, but liberal reform. And their spiritual leader is actually the Kaiser. Again, he's a reformer. He's a very liberal guy. He's very active in politics. So he's actually going to kind of be at the head of the government again, which is odd. The liberals of the government are really actually working with the Kaiser, which is not something you'd expect. But you got to remember, 19th century liberalism is very different than the modern day. They tended to be very jingoistic. They tended to not really be opposed to many forms of authoritarianism, right? So that's the kind of state of where we're at right now. We've had a radical shift in government. The conservatives are completely out of power. Bismarck's awaiting trial. And we've got a very different, very reformist government right now. So yeah, that's the current state of things. In addition to that, we also did take on the debt of Spain and Austria during the war. I already approached the Spanish government. We had peace talks, post-peace talks, and we offered them a place in our customs union. They're considering that offer right now. In exchange, we would give them subsidies and would forgive their debt. If they don't, they have to pay back their debt, which was, I believe, 40 million. The Austrians also owe us 40 million, and we haven't talked with them. They had a radical civil war prior to World War I and still fought with us, but they've got a very interesting government. We're going to have to go speak with them, too. But we're going to wait until after the war with Bavaria. So let me turn the sound back on. I was multitasking, and I turned it off. I was playing Tarkov, Escape from Tarkov, and Victoria 3. I don't know. It was fun. So anyway, sound's back on. They're going to follow Sulhatanes. Can you show the GDP list? Yes, I can. I believe we're second still. No, we're not. We're fourth. The Ottomans are ahead, the Russians are ahead, and the British are ahead of us. So, yep. That is the list. I got a lot to do here, though. Give me a minute. We have interests where we can have interests, I believe, on every corner of the planet now. Because our navy is so big, and it's going to bug out for us. Beautiful. No, we literally just have interest on everything we can. I think? I know, it's being a little weird right now. For our tech, we are really far ahead. At this point, I think we're going to work... We'll go to analytical philosophy, and then we'll work on some of these stuff. We're having a bit of a philosophical and cultural reform movement in Germany, so it makes sense. States in turmoil, insufficient taxation in Pomerania. We can deal with that very quickly. We'll go ahead and build 4 government centers in Pomerania. It's a wee bit loud too. Let me turn that down. Get rid of our unproductive trade routes. It's the post-war era, so we're going to have to do a lot of economic restructuring here as we liberalize, especially. Let's export more steel to the Batavians. We are making so much money on our steel exports here. It's kind of ridiculous. Silk we will export too. We'll need to import some more lead. We'll do that from the Russians. Explosives from the Batavians, I guess.
Greetings, sir.
Hello there. I am Kaiser Oscar von Hohenzollern. Who am I speaking with?
This is the Brazilian foreign minister to Berlin.
Ah, Ambassador. Welcome to the palace of the Kaiser. I am happy to receive you here. I am currently at the head of my government in the transition period, though it may well be that the Liberal Party will choose to give me the voice of our nation. What can I do for you, Ambassador? I speak with a full
Well,
power
first of all,
government.
I'd just like to say it's good to see that your goals in the war came to fruition and you haven't suffered terribly from it. I'd also like to say we hope that our rather large financial package to help you and your allies was welcomed and put to good use.
Indeed. We will not quickly forget the debt bailout and the money provided by your government. We do intend to pay that back. There
is no need. There is no need. It was a gesture of goodwill.
Very well.
and we saw that you were we saw that you were also sending financial aid to the Spanish and other allies. So we thought we might.
We have taken on almost, I believe, 90 million in debts from our allies during the war.
Yeah,
And it is damaging
yeah,
the economy, to be frank with you.
I could see that, and you know, you and most of your allies during the war, we do have trade agreements with. So it was also to help us and to make sure that everyone's economy stayed quite stable, if possible.
Of course.
I'd want to let you know that very soon, as we spoke about previously, I'm going to be making a play on the Federal Republic of Colombia. This will be to settle the final score and basically take control of the canal, and also we want to make their government much more favourable to the rest of the world and try and lead them away from the syndicalists. This will be in the form of making them this will be in the form of making them a dominion first, but then we will be working together to within a year have them as protectorate status with the Empire of Brazil. So
well, I do represent a liberal government, just so you're aware, but we also worry very much about radicals. I mean, there are many in my own country who contend that a liberal is a radical, which they're certainly not. So it's good to see that you're keeping a close eye on the Americas. We are preparing a war against Scandinavia. Out of RP, I keep getting fucked by this stupid commie relation system in this game, so I have to wait again. I don't know. It is what it is, so, yeah.
Nice. Well, thankfully, the British have denounced their support for the Republic of Colombia, so it will mean that you and him won't have to butt heads. The Eternal Latin Alliance should be able to take the war themselves. Well, we're hoping to anyway, so, yeah.
That's good to hear.
I just wanted to,
and just to reiterate, we do have a previous agreement with both you and the Mexican government. So just to reinstate that, you have reprioritized your trade routes to German markets for what you need, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Let's have a quick look at see if I need to update any of my trade routes.
We are vastly expanding steel production too, so there'll be a lot of very cheap steel available going forward.
Yeah, that's great. So currently, my trade agreements are with my two allies, of course, your good self, and with the Dutch. But I will be rescinding the Dutch soon, as we are currently in negotiations to try and buy Batavian Guyana off them, but they are not ceding anything. So I might be looking to cancel that trade agreement soon.
Very well. If it's something that German markets can provide, I mean, they're good friends of ours too. But in economics, there are friends, but not people you would give a crown away to, of course. So if that's something we can provide, you're welcome to ask, and we can speak with Siam and our other market partners.
Yeah, it's very kind of you. Thank you. Okay.
Ambassador, is there anything else I can do for you?
No, that's everything. I just wanted to keep you updated on the situation, and we wish you the best for this.
Very well, and you too. And as I said, Germany is a good friend of Brazil. Should you need us in anything in the future, do not hesitate to send a telegram or a diplomat. Thank you for your time, Ambassador.
All the best. Thank you.
You too. All right, we got to go speak with the Austrians because his country just broke up. He's going to be role-playing decentralized Austria. Fucking madman. He literally released all his countries and he formed an economic union. Whew. Alrighty.
Are willing to help cooperate with the Republic to ensure that they no longer oppress Muslim people within the territory. We would also happily cede the region of Montenegro that we do own.
Hello.
Hello there. Is this the Khedive of Egypt? I am an ambassador, sent here from the German Empire.
Welcome. What can I do for you?
It is time for us to have a very important talk between the Khedive of Egypt and the German Empire. As you know, our colonies to the south of your country have grown large and prosperous with time, and there is a significant amount of trade and wealth that flows between our two countries. I'm here at the bequest of my Kaiser, a man who, like his forefathers before him, sees the economic opportunities of the world over to be a great value to Germany as we come closer and closer to eclipsing the British, as we've already passed the French. The Kaiser has brought me here with a proposal to you. One which we hope you will give some good thought. At present, Germany has what many Europeans would consider a colonial system, unlike those in Britain. In Spain and in France, we do things differently. You can look at Siam and see their prosperity and wealth. We have a single market system, which I suppose is a form of colonialism for our own country, wherein others are able to enter the Germanic markets and be able to obviously utilize our currency, our gold standard on our currency backed by German markets and the free trade zone for their own benefit. The Kaiser would like to formally present you with a path to German market status, given that we trade so deeply with you and given the closeness of our two countries. I'm sure that you see the danger of the Ottoman state, as despite all their flowered words, it's clear that they seek expansion. So I would like to formally give you the offer. This would not be something that happens overnight. It would be something we'd probably most likely negotiate and transition into over the next 10 to 15 years. But the Kaiser does wish to see if your government has an interest in a path to a single market system with the German Empire.
Well, we need to see if it's or both economies are compatible. It's gonna need a lot of works from our economists, but we can obviously allow this possibility. Yes.
Certainly.
Since you,
I would like to state, as
it's
our
a lot,
economists already pulled over these numbers, Egypt primarily produces goods such as grain, paper, wood, fertilizer, many basic goods, of which Germany is oftentimes lacking in quantity. Likewise, the German market is primarily made up of specialized structured goods, high value, hard to make goods that require cutting edge technologies to be competitive on global markets such as steel, luxury products, and things of these natures. As such, we think our economies would get along fairly well. We would not wish to hoard all of the specialized production, of course, and we'd be happy to send engineers and advisors to give you some more modern industry. But I think the question of economic compatibility is already quite clear, at least to our own economists, our own advisors, and our own Bundestag.
If by any circumstances the, let's say, standard of living of my people drop because of unfortunate consequences, I will have to. We will see at the beginning of this union if it works. But if it doesn't, I will have to leave because it's a priority for me, the well-being of my people.
Of course, I understand. Out of RP, this would require RP. We wouldn't do it today. I just want to set the stage for it. We'd move into it if we did it within a session or two, probably, because we need to do proper RP for it. But I wanted to. This is the gauging conversation.
Yeah, and also I will do some testing in single player to see if it works. Okay.
No, that's completely fine.
Yeah,
Again, can't do it today, but we wanted to open the door, so. Well, at least have a consideration. We'll send you our paperwork on what we've kind of looked into here. The German Empire is obviously quickly growing more powerful by the day. I mean, you saw the outcome of the First World War, where Germany left it as probably the preeminent power alongside the United Kingdom and the Ottomans. You also know, I'm sure, from experience, from seeing the world, that Germany, we have little interest in conquest outside of Europe, little even in Europe nowadays. We're a country that looks to economics first, and the other powers such as the United Kingdom and the Ottomans, I think it's very safe to say, is not the case. So, again, I'm here to present the offer of my Kaiser and my government, and I hope you'll look over the paperwork and give it due consideration.
For, let's say, political assistance, military assistance.
We'd be happy to provide your government a permanent guarantee of sovereignty. If a defensive alliance or something is something you're interested, you're welcome. But I want to reiterate, the German economic model, the colonial model, which is referred to by many, it's not one where we would wish to have a dramatic amount of political influence. We're only interested in the economic aspects. If you would wish for political guarantees of sovereignty or anything like that, we're happy to discuss it, but it's not a requirement for what we're seeking here.
Okay. We are not in, let's say, danger right now, but if it comes to it, we will ask you.
You're also not safe, as you all know. The Ottomans are a danger, and we think that a system like this would go a long way to ensure your sovereignty. The Ottomans already fought us once. I don't suspect they'll want to do it again.
Yeah. But I guess the British will not let them invade me because of their precious canal. But thanks for the offer.
I understand
What's
that, but to be
interesting-
frank with you, the British couldn't really. If the Ottomans invaded you, Britain could fight them navally, but on land, they would most likely lose. Although you're right, the British give you some guarantee for the canal and things like that. There's no reason that the Ottomans and the British couldn't work together. And barring that, our military assessment is that they could not stop the armies of the Ottoman state at this time. Germany, on the other hand, has already proven ourselves capable of doing so.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I appreciate your offer.
Of course.
I just wanted to ask, what what could possibly you want in return if you, let's say, endorse my recognition on the international stage?
If you were to agree to a deal like this, we could definitely see a promotion. We can't make any promises for the other powers of the world, but
Yes,
given we
of
would
course.
quickly build up your economy. Hold on 1 second, I just got a weird event. We died under a banner. Become Northern Germany? What the fuck? Hold on. What the fuck? Bear with me 1 moment. That's fucking weird. Oh, there we go, okay. Yeah, we would be happy to promote you as a recognized power on the global stage if you were to come to an agreement on this with us.
Okay, great. Well,
I'll leave you to your thoughts. I thank you for the time. You had the
Yeah.
formal, obviously, thanks of the Kaiser for consideration, and we will speak soon. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, and thanks for your assistance.
Of course.
Good evening.
And to you. Hello there.
Hello.
I am Kaiser Oscar von Hohenzollern. I've come here in Vienna with my delegation to, I think I have a very overdue conversation. President Frumknecht.
Thank you. Yes, it's I was looking to speak with you as well. So this is very good. How can I help?
We well, President, I frankly am flabbergasted, much like many Germans, at the current state of Austria, or the lack thereof. We would like to know what is going on.
Absolutely, no problem. So, the previous regime held an iron grip over the nation of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Many of the people disenfranchised, destitute, and when we took over during the revolution in September, we all agreed, based on the coming election, that there would be two kind of platforms. So our party was sitting on a platform of autonomous states for each of the kind of ethnic regions, wherein they would be allowed to operate independently, free from Vienna control, and another platform, which was the opposition party, which was to centralize into a kind of main state again as one whole republic.
Indeed.
I'm sure you can see by the way things are that we won, and so
If the maps I've had delivered to me are correct, then yeah, certainly.
yes, indeed. So
Are these
yeah,
correct? I had an advisor give to me this map of your country is split into 100 pieces. I mean,
Yes, indeed. They're currently autonomous states. They do pay a small stipend to Austria while staying in our market for us to do the bureaucratic and making sure the legal documents are processed and so that they can operate without any major issues to their economies. But after a decade or so, provided they still wish to, the nations will be wholly independent, and we will be a smaller than we were, but purely Austrian, rather than a magnanimous.
Then the question that follows, at least from Germany, is what is the future for our peoples? You are still Germans in our eyes, at least your state. We have a long history together. You have a very liberal government, but so do we. I mean, I'm sure you know well that I am only in power and Bismarck is in chains due to the liberal government that now rules. We share many values in many ways. We just obviously didn't split our country into 100 pieces. So my question then would be, what is the future of our two peoples? Long allies, good friends, but so at least I see it, a very uncertain future.
No, of course. We wish to remain friends. We understand, of course, that the ally you once had is no longer here, that the strength we once possessed is no longer. We are merely going to be economically, we can be here, we can be helpful, but we're not going to be a major player in the world.
Clearly.
With our nations being separated and autonomous, the power that we once had is no longer there. So, whilst we would like to stress that we'd like to remain independent, depending on how things happen, there is the potential that should these further regions split and become independent in a decade, we may wish to join your market, as we feel that would be able to bolster the region of Austria much more than staying in our own market would do. For the time being, in order to support the states, we need to be in our own market. The other question, which I was going to come to in terms of our future relationship, we'd like to offer you our colonial territories in China and in Africa, as it's not something the current government can manage, as well as not really having a port makes it a bit hard to get the goods in. We feel that it would be easier just to sell it off, and we think our history together has made you a worthy person to hand the reins over.
We would give you a very reasonable offer then, which would be the forgiving of the World War debt in exchange for these territories, given that we did take on, I believe, around 40 million in Austrian debt at the time.
Of course, that sounds reasonable. We could live with that. As absolving us of that obligation to pay it back would be a great deal, especially to my party, as that has stressed out a lot of our
given your current economy. I mean, I was given a financial statement from my economic advisors from the Deutsche Bank before leaving on this trip, and frankly, given that your whole GDP is equivalent to the debt you took on, we were worried about your ability to pay. You are, of course, Germanic brothers, and we were not going to demand anything, but we were worried about that, and this does give us, I suppose, a good option to deal with both problems.
Of course, we think so too. So we're happy for that exchange if you are.
Yeah, it seems to be a reasonable deal to us. Very well. The other matter we do want to bring up is, I mean, you kind of said it before we did, but we did want to at least propose there's two things that we need to talk about here. The first of which is the German Empire is at this time looking to expand its single market system. The currency of the German Empire is by far the strongest on Earth, given we have a perfect credit rating, and of course our currency is strong, given the gold standard we maintain. Our currency is traded, we feel now, probably even more perhaps than the British pound in many places. Given the strength of our market, we did want to open a dialogue with your country regarding the possibility of joining the German market as brothers, as well as old friends. I mean, there's much to be gained in such a market.
Absolutely. We see that as something to look forward to in the future. Like I said, we have a current legal obligation to the separated states, just to make sure that they have a peaceful transition and don't fall apart in minutes.
Of course.
But that will only last a decade. So about 1896, we can revisit this conversation. I think the people will vote inside that favour. The German unity is something we can definitely look towards.
That's good to hear.
Being in a large market and such a strong market would do nothing but benefit the Austrian nation.
We see things eye to eye on that then. We're in no rush. We're a patient nation. We have many of our own matters to attend to, and we sure you are as well. So we're glad that is open. That brings us to the final matter, which is the unfortunate current issue we're seeing with the rapid expansion of the Ottomans in the in the Caucasus region, in the eastern region here?
So yeah, this is a ongoing conversation. It is agreed with Austria, just as a warning. What is happening is we have two slaver nations inside the Eastern Europe, and that's something that the Ottomans and indeed ourselves with the Liberal Party can't really stand. So there's been an agreement with the Ottomans. They will permanently kind of take the Principality of Wallachia under their control, just to fully cement and get rid of all the slavers and
They
deal
do
with
plan to
that
give it
nation.
independence, correct?
I don't believe so. No, I believe they are fully occupying it. However, the Moldavia region is going to be given to the province of Transylvania, as it is the same ethnic group, and in that case, they will all. Again, we get rid of the slavers, which is the main thing, because having slavery in Europe in this stage of
We're fully all agreed on that.
history,
Barbaric behavior
ridiculous.
that needs to be destroyed any place it's
Indeed.
found. We're fully agreed on that.
Absolutely.
The problem we see here, though, is an encroachment upon Europe by the Ottomans. And as for the future, we will be putting out a statement sometime soon, which is that we are drawing a line, including your states, including Bosnia and Montenegro. Any acts of the Ottomans towards them, for whatever reason they have, for good reason or fabricated, would involve Germany getting involved. So we would like to make you aware of that, as we are going to be drawing a line with the Ottomans. As they cannot encroach further on Europe, we will not allow it.
No, of course, and it is within your right to do so. We agree there is deals. The Ottoman nation is large, and they hold many. Although they claim to be all for equality within their nation, as you can see from the Austrian standpoint, it's very clear that I think separation of states is a much more easier way to look at it in terms of ethnic groups.
Of course.
Even barbarians such as Russia are willing to have separate autonomous states there. Although not to the full extent, but at least mildly, they can see the benefits. So,
Of course.
so we feel the Ottomans should do this, and so in that case, we will support you. However, like due to our situation, there isn't a lot our voice will carry anymore.
We would disagree on that. You may no longer be the great power you once were in many ways, but yours is a history, and yours are lands still wealthy. And if nothing else, you always be a good friend of the German Empire, and we'll always make sure that your voice is heard. I can assure you of that.
Thank you. I do appreciate it as always. It is always a
Of course.
pleasure to talk to your country.
And you as well. I'm glad that we see eye on all things, and also we have poor relations. I will improve on that. But it's good to hear. I must say, I'm going to be leaving Vienna much less worried than when I came here. It's been a pleasure, President from Knecht, and I hope to speak with you again.
Indeed, you too. Have a pleasant trip home.
Thank you. Oh, goddamn, that's wild. He really went with Federal Austria. Goddamn. Like, our number one ally is just gone. Just doesn't exist. No power at all. What government of the Ottomans is the flag change? They had a bugged flag. They're not communist. They're still a sultanate. They just had another paradox bug with their flag change. They're not commie. They're still a sultanate. Ottomans are getting to be a bit of a problem here. So we do have a little minor war ongoing right now. Get an uprising of some natives there. We're getting a little into Belgian territory here, but that's fine. So again, the Kaiser is very pro-colonial, like his father. So the Kaiser, who now has effectively control, he's a reformer. He's a very liberal guy, but he's also very much a colonizer, colonial administrator. He's very pro-colonial. So we just got a deal of the lifetime there. Just to reiterate what happened there. Austria's going to sell all their colonies to us, which isn't a lot. They're not huge. But notably, that includes all of modern day, I want to say Kenya and Tanzania, I think is what this was. My East African geography is not good, but we're going to get all this. We're going to get his treaty port in the Qing, which is Wenzhou, which includes almost 1 million people. And I think he had another colony somewhere as well, if I remember correctly. I don't know where it is. I might be wrong about that. In more Tanzania, yeah. So what we're going to pay for that is we're just going to forgive their debt. We took on 40 million in Austrian debt during World War I, and we'd planned to make them pay it, but given this is a really good exchange, I mean, like, Let's see how many people are in this. 500,000, 2 million, 3 million. Yeah, so we're gonna get around 4.5 million people out of that. And a lot of really good geography too. I believe there's even oil in one of these places, if I remember correctly. A lot of coffee. That'll... God, our economy will blow up from that. Fuck tons of coal. I thought there was an oil production in that area. Not that we need more of it, but no, apparently not. I thought there was. Yeah, oh well. But yeah, we're that's a good fucking deal. That's a good deal we got from the Austrians. And the other thing is we've eaten their economic power. I mean, he's willing to join our economic union in the future, I think, which is good. We really just took on the economic power of Austria with what they've done, so... For us, we're walking out of this without a major ally, which is a big cost, but with a lot more. So we need to go about finding another great ally, to be honest. Quite badly, actually. Oh my god, it's gonna take fucking forever. We have an alliance with the Spanish. We have one with the Brazilians. We will have basically one with the Mexicans too. Siam, of course, is close with us. The Russians we fought a world war with, but it was always the Austrians who had more of the relationship with the Russians rather than us. The Dutch we're friends with. It's not like we lack anything, but I want to do something very rash before too long, and we'll need alloys for it. Export even more of our ammunition. Our economy is going back up again, slowly but surely. Get the routes in all these places, get them to prioritize us. We have really high market competitiveness, given we're laissez-faire free trade. So we'll be able to get a lot of what we need there. Well, let's go about exporting some more stuff. We need to increase the value of transportation. Let's go ahead and do that. So, let's upgrade all this. All those areas of Bavaria we took don't automatically switch over, unfortunately. So, okay, transportation, rail transport. We'll go with ignition tractors so we can afford them. Massive. I mean, we have so much grain now. Kind of ridiculous. Bear with me a moment. Are we on transportation? Oof. Huge surplus. This just increases our profitability across the board and frees up more laborers, which we very much need right now. We've had a huge population boom, ironically, during World War I. Once we get those states, we'll have way more, but it's not quite enough for what we need. I mean, our economy is just monstrous. We just eat anything we can take at this point. Fucking hell. Why is that completely unproductive? Because hardwood is not valuable, and most of it is on hardwood. Let's go ahead and switch off it. There we go. Not super profitable, but... yeah, steam donkeys are just worth it. Chainsaws just are not... they're not viable for us. Rail transportation. We have the electricity. We're gonna do rail cars freezing for fishing. Should increase its profitability, I think. No, because we have I bet we have an excess of fish. Yes, we do. Export that to foreign markets. And I'm going to actually just keep the current version. And I'm going to get us to decommission some of these. We can free up pops for other things here. We have a lot of jobs. We have a lot of specialized industry. We don't need an excess of fish, so we're going to throw out some jobs. It'll create some radicals, but it's fun. Nickel Sweden give us, we'll have a massive fuck-off army. True. Enact some new laws. Yes, we'll get to that in a moment. Why aren't we constructing anything? Because we actually ran out of people. That's what I'm trying to deal with right now. I'm trying to restructure our economy. We may have, I just made a lot of new, or I got rid of a lot of jobs, so we might be able to do it now. Let's go ahead and increase our rubber production. We need 15. 10. We'll do 20 in the Congo. Then we need fuckloads. We need a lot of things, really, don't we? Glass is huge. Let's work on that. We need 4,000, so we need 80. Jesus Christ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see, what else do we need? Lots of clothing and luxury clothing, so we'll do the rest into that. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. That should get us caught up on all that stuff. Okay. Franconia and Bavaria are in turmoil because they've been recently annexed. Let's go also integrate them, and then we'll work on law reforms. Given we have a liberal government in power who's seeking many reforms, let's take a look at our primary party, which would be the intelligentsia. What laws do they want passed? Guaranteed liberties. That would make a lot of sense. They want a unitary government, which everyone does at this point. What do we currently have? We have, I think, a dual federalism. Yeah, we're going to go up to a unitary government. Yep. Yeah, we're going to go for unitary government. We basically, at the beginning, I wanted to roleplay out a decentralized formation of Germany, where the states kind of came together more diplomatically and through widespread movements to create a singular government, which we did, which is why we had a very decentralized government. That's what centralization obviously is for these laws, which one of the mods we have on the pack ad. Now that we have a formal German empire, the whole country is really unified, both conservatives and liberals around the federal government, right? It would make sense at this point we would be reforming into a unitary government, which is what we're going to do. So we'll be a proper state at that point. And that will give the Kaiser even more power. I mean, the Kaiser lost a lot of power in the beginning of the roleplay, but he's really got a lot back. Mainly because he's a reformer. The grand project of mechanizing agriculture throughout the German Empire is complete. Never before has such abundant yields been tallied. Increase the minimum wealth for everyone. Party-affiliated newspapers have been proliferating during the election season. Publications associated with free-minded People's Party have been particularly effective, spreading the party line. The liberals continue to just get more and more power. Also, we're taking a huge hit on trade competitiveness, on bureaucracy influenced radicals, because we did that war with Bavaria. When we get below 25 infamy, we're gonna jump up again. We might get to number 1 at that point, to be honest.
Greeting to the German Kaiser and to their government.
Hello there. Is there any way for you to fix your microphone?
Just a sec.
Sure. We're needing a lot more oil. God damn.
Is it better now?
A little bit better, yeah. Hello there. I am Kaiser Oscar von Hohenzollern. What can I do for you?
Thank you. I am the representative of the Kingdom of Portugal. We are here to discuss our colonial situation in the heart of Africa. I believe you received our previous telegrams
We did.
regarding the issue.
There's been a lot of hectic activities in our government. We are reforming, but we're glad you came here to discuss this. We have colonized the lower, the Congo Basin there. The recent conflict we've had with these local tribes or where they attacked our settlements there, and we are currently dealing with them. Given that we've had to spill blood for that territory, if German blood is spilled, we'll certainly want to keep it. We're happy to stop there, though. The region of Kazembe, as well as Lunda, is by all means Portuguese. We're not really interested in that. The primary issue with the states we just took is that, again, we had to bleed. And if German blood is spilled, we must take our pound of flesh.
Thank you very much. Then we see no problem in this region, and we are very, very glad that we can resolve this issue very, very civilized with our German
Wonderful.
friends.
Of course. I mean, we have good relations with the Portuguese. We think we've come a long way since decades back.
Yes, yeah.
We also would like to notify your government, just so you're not caught off guard, given the reform of the Austrian Empire into the current Republic of Austria and the states that now exist there, in order to forgive the loans the debt that we took off the Austrians' hand during the First World War, we will be acquiring the Austrian territories in Africa. So in Tanzania and the Congo, we will be taking those territories as part of a deal, just to make you aware of that.
Thank you very much. Since we hand those territories to the Austrians, we have no interest or claims in this region. So you have the Portuguese government blessing in this issue.
That's good to hear. And of course, we will likewise likely continue to subjugate the rest of the tribes in that region to the north as well. But given they're not in the Portuguese sphere, I assume there's no issues there.
Absolutely no issue.
Good. Is there
Thank you
anything
very
else
much
I can do
for
for
your
you? Oh, thank you. Alrighty, let's export some more glass. We're making ridiculous amounts now. Export some more ammunition. How much of the Germany session have you missed? Oh, I'd say 20 minutes, 30 minutes. What are the economies of Europe like? Generally speaking, I don't even know what Austria is at this point. France, I think, is laissez-faire as well. No, they're interventionist, protectionist, proportional taxation. Britain is laissez-faire free trade. They're like we are. So we have the same economic policies. Multiculturalism. I could have sped Russian it too, but I didn't. Makes no sense yet. Okay, Italy is, let's see, interventionism, mercantilist. Ottomans are interventionist, protectionism. Everyone is fucking multiculturalism. It doesn't make any sense, man. Okay. Russia has interventionism, protectionism as well. So, yeah. And then the Scandinavians are a council republic. So. Maybe those African nations about Austrian colony, since Austria hasn't taken them yet. Yeah, we're going to be annexing them. We will. I'm not in any rush to do it, but we will be integrating the rest of them. Which is, let's look at how many people are actually there. Oh my gosh, 1.4, 1.5, 1.8, 2.5. That's another 3 million people in that area. Goddamn. And we will push for Kenya in the future, but I'm gonna wait until we get a little bit more spicy with the British. All right, the French are as usual screwing with us in our colonies, but we'll pay it no heed. It's no matter. How longer is the game going? The game will go for another 3 hours. Yeah, export more engines here. Radios I want to produce, not import. Export glass to Scandinavia and Egypt. Fertilizer to Colombia.
Hello.
Artillery to the Austrians. Hello there. Who is this?
It is I, Johannes de Swartz, the protector of the Republic of Batavia.
Ah, welcome. It is good to speak with you, President Koverden. Welcome to Berlin. I'm Kaiser Oskar von Hohenzollern. What brings you here?
Well, we have arrived to discuss the German Sunda Islands. We were wondering what your current policy is on it, as we wish to finally close off our colonial reports on the Dutch East Indies and say whether we've consolidated. As it stands, the Dominion of Lamfang and the Portuguese island are considered closed articles, and we were wondering whether you were willing to sell the Sunda Islands, or if you were rather would keep them, so we could close.
I do intend to keep them. I do believe, given the prevalence of German colonial power in this era, I see no reason to give them up. They are an intrinsic part of German nation as well as our economy, and no, we have no interest in giving those up or selling them.
Well, that's quite all right. We're glad to finally be able to close the report on the East Indies now. as it has been many.
You
many
are withdrawing
years that
for all
they've
your
been
colonies
open.
then?
Pardon?
Do you plan to withdraw from all your colonies?
Oh no, we're not withdrawing. We're closing the file, as in we are no longer going to be expanding the East Indies within the region.
Oh, I understand, of course.
Yes, we've had an open file. With our new hugely progressive laws, we are also closing the files in Africa as we are working to integrate them into our Grand Republic,
I see.
as we recognize them as equal humans.
One
Now,
would hope.
yes,
do you have
it's-
multiculturalism as well? I was just looking around Europe and everyone fucking has it. Yeah, you do. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, my leader is also a suffragette, or she will
Yeah.
be. In the next
suffrage
election.
yeah, fair, okay. I'm not gonna rush it. It doesn't make sense, but anyway. Yeah, that's good to hear. I mean, we've done a lot of reforms of our own. Many of the people in our colonies have been integrated to varying degrees into Germanic culture and the Germanic Empire, and we do see them as Germans of a sort, of course. So that's good to hear.
Well, certainly. Well, we're glad to hear that all is well in Germany as well, and we hope that your war against the socialist menace will go very well.
Of course,
They've
as soon as
proven
this like
themselves.
magical modifier that we don't understand scientifically goes away and we can declare war on them, we do plan to do so.
Well, I'm glad if the German nation ever needs any aid or help, then we will certainly be glad to give it. The ruthless attack against the Portuguese in Lisbon shows that the socialists just cannot be trusted.
Of course. We would like also formally take this moment to thank your government for the aid you provided in the First World War. We know that you were forced to sue for terms very early on, but without your navy, I think things would have gone much, much worse for our alliance in that whole affair. So we will not forget that anytime soon. If you ever require the German Empire's help, we will always be there for you.
We're very glad to hear this. Desvot, or as he's known by his people, Neef Desvot, is always glad to help the German people, and he's always glad to help in a war. The weak government that was there before, that surrendered before our time, has been replaced with a much more confident government. So hopefully, if there is any other repeats of such a great war, then we'll be able to aid for much longer.
Indeed. We do have plans of our own to overhaul a lot of our military, as we did find ourselves a little bit overconfident in the war. Though, to be fair, I mean, navally, we are only slightly behind Britain, and militarily, we contain every great power. So we will continue expanding our own means. We do hope for another world war. The cost of life on Germans as well as Europeans and the whole world was inefficient and rather costly, though it was necessary. The Ottomans were a threat, and unfortunately it appears they will continue to be a threat given their recent actions in the Balkans.
Well, it certainly seems that way. I mean, we lost 100,000 people alone. With obviously compared to German losses, that seems quite minuscule, but to us, such a small
is, of course,
population, yes, it's quite a lot. And entire villages were wiped out. It was very distressful to the people. However, we shall always stand by our allies, and that very much includes the Germans. So
That's good to hear.
we are glad. We will now return to Amsterdam, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you for your time, Ambassador.
Thank you very much.
President, apologize. How are your relations with the other great powers right now? France, hostile. UK, lukewarm, hostile. Spain, allies. Portuguese, warm. Sicily's warm. Ottomans, frosty. Austria, very friendly. Russia, very friendly. Scandinavia, hostile. Colombia, hostile. Mexico, friends bordering on allies. Brazil, bordering on allies. Canada, lukewarm. Qing, lukewarm. Siam, allies. That's about it. Oil rush subsidies. With the groundwork on Elba oil industry complete, its appeal and promise is waning among those seeking to carve out their own fortune. That's a shame. We definitely use more. We are going to personally intervene in order to enact workers' protections. RP-wise, one of the major things that the Liberal Party campaigned on was work reform, so we'll work on that. Also, just a heads up, guys, we are going to go behind everyone else. I refuse to rush multiculturalism. It just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. We're going to get behind everyone else because if you don't have multiculturalism and everyone else does, they're going to steal all of our pops. They're going to get a lot of huge advantages. Their population growth will just be massive. And I refuse to do that. I just don't think it makes sense this early. So we are going to lag behind, which really sucks, but yeah, is what it is. Go for oil turbines. Produce more electricity. Okay, let's export more artillery. More fertilizer. Really, apparently we have an iron deficit. We'll get that from the Austrians. Lead from the Sicilians.
Greetings, King.
Hello there. Kaiser Oscar von Hohenzollern. What can I do for you?
Hello, I'm the governor of the Dutch East Indies, and I want to notify the the German Empire that the British are taking influence in the Korean region, and with the weakening of Austrian naval power, Japanese possessions are also in danger of falling under British influence. And we're petitioning powers for a small coalition.
We are very interested. We had a long-standing deal with the Austrians to allow them influence on the Tokugawa shogunate, but given the current state of affairs and the selling of colonial claims and territories by the Austria to the German state, legally, I suppose, and technically, the Tokugawa shogunate would, by right, be a claim of Germany at this point. And I think we will need to pursue that. I think a meeting with relevant parties as swiftly as possible is relevant. We'd like to propose Amsterdam if you're not opposed to it, and there's several powers I think we should speak to here.
Good day. Welcome at an opportunity.
One moment, Ambassador. There's you're welcome to be here. There's many things happening at the moment.
Currently, the Dutch president is petitioning our Spanish, Portuguese, Brazilian allies into also notifying them in ILA, it seems.
We would support this. I think this we need to have a talk very quickly here. Yeah, like I said, conference in Amsterdam. Is that what's in the ELA right now?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Set up.
If that's the case.
Hello there.
Hello.
Yeah, what is happening? Oh my god.
There's a lot of very dramatic things happening very quickly, it seems here, especially in Asia, and we need to have a very quick talk here.
Yes, we were discussing that as, before you entered the room, in fact.
I apologize for my lateness. I was just notified. What has been discussed so far?
The various stances of the nations so far is that the British are currently liberating Cuba, or not Cuba. That's not what they did. Korea, I mean.
We can see that.
we have not yet discussed what's happening with Belgium. Just to be clear.
Yeah. The Dutch position would be that if the Dutch are to be pushed out of Formosa, then I do believe that our current stance should probably be upheld in the name of international law.
If a country like Belgium is to take Formosa after everything that's occurred, we see no reason that we shouldn't demand that territory transferred to the Dutch government.
Certainly.
Sorry, where are the Belgians claiming Formosa now?
They are. They're currently engaging in a war with China in order to take it.
Ah. Wait, out of RP, who the fuck is the player
Is there
for...
a player on there?
Yeah.
There?
It's a Lurch Crafter. I don't know who that is.
Is he in Discord?
That's a good
Yes.
question.
It was in
Um,
Discord. Yeah, I think they're constantly in and out of the voice chats.
Not
I
seeable
think.
right now.
Yeah, you can usually get them with a message, but that's yeah.
Yeah, that should not be a thing, and I think that's more of a player issue.
He just probably doesn't know the history of it. My guess is that player at RP just jumped on it and just doesn't know. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's been empty for a while, so I think it's just a new player jumping on it.
we do need to discuss the Asian matter with everything else here, though. I assume that's one of the main things we're all here to discuss.
Yes.
I think, right, not to be rude, but this is the boardroom of the Eternal Latin Alliance. I believe a few
And it appears everyone has gathered here for for these talks. Then
a few people originally came to speak to Spain, and now everyone's here.
This is very.
I reckon that I think the American Entente are going to be absolutely shitting themselves if they look down into this channel.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Before we get
I think we can
complaints.
start a conference in Amsterdam instead.
That works for us. We'd be happy to do that.
To
Indeed.
Amsterdam then.
I gotta send some DMs real quick.
Am I not hearing something, or?
I think we're there's a few people here.
We were just waiting for people to come in, I believe.
Yep.
And, the Netherlands themselves.
Are not here.
It is a full chat. Maybe we can expand it so that they would be able to get it.
I'll do it. There we go. Oh, there we go. Hello.
Good day. So, as we were discussing,
Yes, the matter of Korea.
We would like to inform the governments present here at this time that in a recent deal with Austria, the Republic of Austria and the successor to the Austrian Empire sold all of their colonies and colonial claims to the German Empire, and as such we will be enforcing the former Austrian claim of dominionship and market access to Japan. We would like to notify your governments at this time.
Well, we certainly support this, if considering it was a completely legal sale, and it was already
Absolutely.
discussed that Austria was in Japan was in Austrian spheres.
we believe that there may be an issue of overreach here. However, if the Germans are confident that they can hold that territory despite the severe detriments therein, then very well, be that on
We
them.
are more than confident, and we will not obviously attempt to infringe upon your recent acts in the Balkans, and we would of course ask you to do the same with our actions here, and I think we can see eye to eye on this.
Well, our
Oh my
actions in the
God.
Balkans.
Out of
discussed.
RP, I got 100, I'm at 130 infamy, Jesus fuck.
That's why I was joking about that, because
That's a
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
That's a cut down to size right
Where
there.
is the German ambassador?
yeah, you are our first pariah, Hammurabi.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
How the fuck did I get that much infamy? That's why Austria was talking about,
100
god
infamy
damn it.
stepped up at Japan.
Mm.
Yeah, so you kind of overstepped a bit too fast.
A bit, yeah.
It shouldn't be that much infamy though, it's fucking Japan.
It's a valuable state. It's got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
How much population does it have as well?
Like
A lot.
31.
45 million.
Oh, yeah.
Der Kaiser,
my
we
God.
demand that you pull off from your actions in Japan.
Thanks
Your Japan Commonwealth
That makes sense.
recognizes the independence of
no.
Japan.
Out of RP,
we reject your request. Out of RP, this is actually gonna break my country. God damn.
Yeah, well.
Sorry
Yeah.
to disrupt,
thanks
but
to you, many people are leaving France for some reason.
sorry to the Germans. The Brits are just announced that they buy all colonial claims on Japan from the Austro-Hungarians.
That is incorrect. We had a sale of claims we had a sale of colonies by Austria, which includes that for us, so that's not legitimate. God damn.
Well, this is confusing.
It is.
It is, yes.
Out of RP, if you cancel the war, you will get half your infamy back.
I'm still fucked though.
True.
Well, congratulations, Germany. You have now played yourself.
Just imploded.
Hold on, I'm gonna make a GC request on this. One sec.
As long as it's not to just remove all the infamy because you.
I'm fine with having plenty, but this much for attacking an Asian country is just oh.
I mean, well, that's just what we all play with the rules though to do that.
That's true.
Maybe you can reduce it to like 75 or something.
I'm just gonna ask to get it below 100. I don't mind at that point, because it's the 100 that absolutely fucks you, right?
It's the 100 also where everyone's gonna get events to go to war with you. So.
Yeah, exactly. God damn.
Well, if that works.
All right. We'll see.
Oh my God. I will also have. We'll have a prestige hit because of your pariah status.
Yeah, I have that as well.
I know.
Same.
The Belgians have sent a letter to us, and they say that while they can't send an ambassador to have talks with us currently, they are willing to. They are open to negotiations in terms of territorial transfer, and they weren't aware of the previous discussion about Formosa, of course.
God damn. All right. Anyway, back on topic.
Yes.
I mean, we're here to speak about Asia, correct? We're still gonna do that?
Certainly. Yeah.
Also, should we have like an actual like conference?
Yeah, so the Brits don't feel that they are left out again.
Oh. Should probably invite them in.
I legally can't call one since I'm not a great power, but...
Oh, yeah.
The Dutch are apparently the barrier between great power and non-great power.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm going in. I can't allow. Fuck. It's too late.
Oh, were you gonna go in on the war?
It's about to go in on the war.
Oh man, that would have been.
That
fun.
would have gotten spicy.
God damn it! I should have. I should have. Fuck. Oh well.
It's okay. The Germans are about to economically collapse, so.
We might off this. This is I don't know if I can digest this. I forgot about the infamy shit. God damn.
We'll just sanction you. That will work.
That's just 2 gigabyte Ottoman, or I mean Germans. I don't think you can eat that.
By any chance, is the German infamy
Call me
the reason my
Anaconda,
budget's
because
so
I'm
big?
gonna fucking eat this bitch.
And then die because you can't, like, you can't digest it.
My digestive system is listen, we eat a lot of bratwurst. If we can handle that, we can handle Japan. That's all I'm saying. Our
Fuck's
digestive
sake, I
tracts
just
are built
got a-
different.
Ham, I just got a bunch of radicals because you're infamous and on my border.
Yeah.
Same here.
I know,
It's,
over 100 fucks you so hard.
It fucks us as well.
God damn.
Hey, Spain, thanks for taking that border province I have with the Germans. Really saved my baby. Yeah.
Oh my god, my
I'm
government.
currently my budget's like tripled in size. I'm not sure entirely. I think that might be to do with the Germans. But I'm
You're
not
eating
entirely
eating
sure.
all of our market, because one of the big things with the infamy over
Ah.
100 is your trade competitiveness is like gone. So basically, all the routes that you have that I have, you take the majority of it now.
Ah, okay.
It just means like
I was gonna say.
our traders just like are getting laughed out the room essentially.
I was very confused as to why my budget went from 30,000 to like near 300,000.
All right, balls to the fucking wall. Let's do this.
But this meeting was to discuss the British quote-unquote liberation of Yosein, and the Dutch called it because we wanted to assure that British influence remains contained within Asia to their current borders and not to be expanded. And that was the reason for this meeting. Do people disagree or agree with that notion?
Alright, so you're saying that the motion is simply about the British expanding their borders, is that correct?
Their influence and the expansion of their markets.
Well, our main worry is around the previous agreement of Asia, where Korea was seen to be an independent sphere, separate to any European power in particular. So we were mainly wishing to discuss this with the other European powers and see what the European consensus is.
It is our understanding that the British made some sort of discussion with the Kingdom of Joseon regarding this issue. As such, we are unsure of what the discussion was, but it is clear that this is all within the intent of that situation.
Shouldn't this conference invite some British delegation as well, so they can explain the situation?
Could be discussed with them.
I can go over and get the British delegation.
That will be great.
You can also just call it conference. But...
I think that might be better, honestly.
Yeah, I think it might be.
Alright, where is it?
Conference.
Does anybody know where this is?
The British Foreign Office wishes to be clarifying what's going on. We were told we should be here.
We've come to discuss the spreading of influence into Korea. We were under the impression that the Korean Peninsula and the Kingdom of Joseon. Forgive my
Yes.
terrible.
We can call it Korea.
Yeah. We were under the impression that the Kingdom of Korea was meant to be free of European influence altogether. As set out in the previous Asian conference, where we divided up Asia into spheres of influence. So this recent, British invasion is one that we wish to discuss.
Yes. We thought it was our understanding that the understanding that was reached was about not taking any Chinese territories.
It was generally over Asia. So China, Korea, and Japan were discussed, including Burma as well, tagged on.
Burma was from the beginning, but yes. I did not believe we came to an agreement. Okay. It was our understanding that Korea is separate from the king, as there was always a separate state.
We understood.
And we had extensive negotiations with the Austrians over this, to mutually guarantee each other's Asian outflows.
Well, that might be so, but it was our understanding that in the actual official conference of Asia, that Japan would be under Austrian influence.
Yes.
Which obviously has been sold. Which is
Yes, we
that
were
is fair
told
enough,
that
but
we were buying
Korean-
the rights to Japan. That is
But-
something that we came
We
here
were
to discuss
given
as well.
we were sold all of the colonies and stuff of Austria. I mean, so
When was this? When did this happen?
it was
Because they just
negotiated
very
in a
recently
recent.
sold it to us.
It was in a recent conference with the Austrians where we forgave their debt in the First World War in exchange for that.
Oh, that is very saddening, because we believed that we negotiated them recently for buying their claims on Japan ourselves, but it appears that they did not have those rights to negotiate.
Sounds like a case of double selling.
Yes.
It does indeed.
Are the Austrians here?
Maybe acquire what the Germans are desiring to do with Japan?
We intend to bring it under the German Empire for a period where we will modernize it, after which it will be a part of the German market, but be given full political autonomy.
I agree, this is a good, generally good outcome, and we shall replicate it.
We would also like it to be known that the Belgians have fully agreed to discussions about Formosa. They are just unable to send diplomats.
Alright then. What is the agreement on Formosa?
Well, the agreement was it was to be reintegrated into Asia and into the Qing, and the Dutch were to give it up.
Yes.
So
What is the new development with the Belgians?
the Belgians are seeking to conquer it themselves. Out of roleplay, the guy wasn't actually aware because he's a new guy. He wasn't actually
That's fair.
aware. Yeah, so it's fair enough, really. But yeah, the whole thing of yeah.
So then, what are we here to discuss?
I suppose it was mainly the wider discussions of Asia, as we seem to be veering quite strongly away from the original conference.
Well, yes. Well, as in the spirit of the agreement we made with the Kaiser of Austria-Hungary, we shall respect an equal agreement with Japan and Korea, with the Germans now. We shall stop our payments to Austria, and understand that the Germans were the ones that bought the rights first.
That would be correct. Also, I do apologize. I'm desperately trying to not die.
Yes, yes.
Oof.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Hammurabi, out of RP real quick. You should cancel all of your diplo relation consuming things so you can get the influence buff to reduce your infamy more.
Ah, good call.
So if there seems to be no objectors to the division of Japan and Korea to the German Empire and the British Empire, or the United Kingdom. So then we can close this conference, a small discussion again.
Yes. The British Foreign Office wishes to wonder if, in the spirit of cooperation, if other nations would like to send a representative to the next British family soccer tournament. I believe we could change the name, of course.
We will certainly be attending.
Yeah, the Dutch will send a team, a conference, whatever. Yeah.
It is getting very popular in the many regions of France. We will be sending a team.
The Ottoman Empire.
I believe the Germanic football team will be there as well.
The Spanish have recently outlawed football as it is British.
It's called soccer, sir?
It's called soccer. Are you referring to a different sport?
Not in Spain, it's not.
Oh, in Spanish you speak of it as a different...
Yes.
The translation of soccer into Spanish is foosball.
Yes, exactly.
That is understandable. Then this shall be the last British family soccer tournament. We shall enjoy it all in. Does another state wish to come up with a name and a organization for this endeavor?
You see, there's so much of people in France playing it, so everywhere with all the kids and whatnot. I was thinking if maybe we could do a more standardized version where we can make sure the rules are played fairly between our nations.
Yes. With timeouts and rounded corners.
An international governing body of soccer, maybe some things like the Fédération Internationale des Soccer Association might be yes, like FISA. Ah, beautiful. Might be
yes.
We can speak about this later.
Yes. We shall then be on our way.
As will we. I'm gonna try and concentrate here. Be back.
Safe time.
Jesus fuck. I wasn't ready for that infamy hit. I didn't think we were gonna get that. Oh my god. We need to end the war. That'll lower our money. I'm just mass building governmental administrations to get up our bureaucracy so we can actually tax our fucking people. Let's see, what else can we do here? Oh, I may have fucked this here. I'll be honest. I didn't even look at the infamy cost. I just didn't assume it would be a lot because, like, it's Japan. I mean, it wouldn't be a big deal. It'd be a big deal, but not like this. Okay. At least Diplo's up, true. We gotta keep getting that up here. The military's not gonna fight well. We gotta end this. A couple more naval invasions. We should be able to get the Japanese to peace out. I'm just gonna max out all. Oh shit. Okay, rehost. Oh fuck. Oh boy. Boys, I fucked up what we've been. I'm gonna be real. Alright, here's my plan. Here's my grand fucking plan. Blitzkrieg the war, end it with Japan. Mass building of governmental administrations to increase our bureaucracy, to have taxation. We're going to basically stand down a large contingent of the military after the war. And just pray to Jesus that's enough, I guess. Our GDP has actually remained very solid. That's not the issue. It's our governmental expenditure that's killing us. Yeah. Do separation of powers for the religious law? For sure. My god. Oh. Just got tagged. Oh, Scandinavia apparently collapsed. The government there, the radical leftist government collapsed. This may actually kill our government. I'm just trying to think about what to even do at that point. Are there any other ways to lower infamy? Does anyone know? Release stations. It's gamey, but I'll have a look at that. Do you have to release them independently, or do you get a reduction on infamy if you release them as independent states, like in your market kind of thing? I could do that. We could release like the Congo as an independent state or something. I'll take a look at that. We gotta get below 100. Like 100 fucking kills you. It really does. So we have to reduce 26 infamy is what we need to do. Theoretically, if we end the war and lose all of our military budget, we mothball. It's a strategic crisis at that point. We could mothball part of our military and go back on techs. And then at that point, if we keep building government illustrations, we could outpace tax cost and just get rid of them at the end of things. That might be viable. But with the trade competitiveness, we're just going to get screwed in the long term. Could be a lot of nations. Yeah. Yeah, the radicals also are just brutal. I think Germany is a bit of an Icarus in this game. We saw the sun rise upon the German Empire, we flew to the sun, and we were burned. Oh. But if we pull this off, we'll get everything the Kaiser wanted. Like, his whole thing and his father's whole thing was building a great colonial empire from Germany. And with Bismarck gone, that's doable. I mean, if we fail this, I'll basically roleplay it as the Kaiser just doing radical, crazy colonial policies. And we're probably going to have to take that down the route of radical decolonization, which would happen, basically, where Germany pulls out of the majority of its colonies. The Kaiser would probably be forced to abdicate. And the liberal government would probably take the remaining power from the monarchy. That's what will happen if we fail this. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. The Kaiser basically, yeah, he was the one who did this, right? Effectively. And if he fails, that might even result in the ending of the monarchy, to be honest. That would be valid cause to absolve the powers of the monarchy entirely. Shit. Yep. Let's acquire the Western Front. The new movie, it was really good. I liked it. It wasn't, I hoped it would be better. The book is great. The original movie from way back in the day is fantastic. I really did like it. It was well made. They didn't glorify war, which is good, because a lot of war movies glorify war. I mean, I would hope that a movie based on that book didn't, but it didn't, which is good. I liked it. I think it was a little bit overrated. As in people like acted like it was amazing, but it was good. Good movie. I still like, my favorite World War I movie is definitely still 1917, though. I love 1917. It's actually one of, I'd say it's probably a top 15 movie for me. I just love the cinematography in that movie. Like, the manner in which they filmed it to make it look like that continuous shot. I mean, there's a lot of movies that have tried to do that and failed. There were parts of it where it was, they didn't do it quite right, but man, it was just so good. 1917 is by far my favorite war movie. TV show would be Band of Brothers, I guess, but for movie, definitely 1917. Such a good movie. Western Front was good too, though. I'm forced to roleplay a slowly dying empire which spends the majority of its money on gigantic armed forces now. Oh boy. Yep. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and mull over my recent decisions. Be right back. Colonial on the Western Front is great, but there's that's the only war movie I've watched. Paul dies, it's the end of the war. It's a very good movie. Like, it really is. If you've never read the book, definitely take a read. All Quiet on the Western Front is a very, very good book. I think especially people who tend to play games that abstract violence, like these games. I love Paradox games, but let's be honest, they give you a very big detachment from the realities of what it's simulating. Books like that are good to, you know, not treat these things in a cavalier manner. Most people don't. But I've been in enough Hoi 4 discords, heard enough Hoi 4 and Paradox players talk, to definitely... I've seen enough of that stuff where people just act like the war and violence is just some, you know, game. Like in the beginning of the movie and the book, right? When they treat war like a game, it's, you know, they're fighting for their country. It's going to be some grand adventure. They're going to go fight for their country. They'll come home. It's not what it is. And you hear that shit a lot in the Hoi crowd, don't you? And in the Paradox crowd, really. So, I think in order to play Hearts of Iron, you should be forced to read like a couple of those style books first, you know? Before playing Victoria 3, you should also be forced to read King Leopold's Ghost. That I think would also be a good thing. You know. But anyway. Hoi 4 players, they're not all bad. They get a bad rep because of the extreme people. But there's a lot of that. There's radical politics, and then, you know, people who take the themes that are in these games a little too lightly. Also, I do apologize. Mexico, are you here to do some Diplo?
Yes, I am.
Ah, Ambassador, hello. You've come to Berlin during the midst of a crisis and economic collapse. I do apologize for the paperwork everywhere. What can I do for you?
Yes, no problem. That was actually something that we wanted to address with you. In the wake of the global conflict that had ensued, the Mexican Empire had wanted to reach out to Germany in regards to a trade agreement in order to increase the flow of goods, particularly the export of Mexican oil to Germany. We believe that would be in the economic interest of both of our nations.
We would love to do so, and we're happy to do so in the future, but at this moment, my government is unable to make any more political agreements. I'm going to be frank with you, Ambassador. I'm worried for the future of the monarchy of Germany. There are many in my country who, given our recent actions in Asia, are calling for some radical changes. I'd be happy to do this and discuss it with you if I'm still in power in a year or two. We'll put it that way. I do apologize.
Well, let me just put it this way. The Mexican Emperor stands with the German monarchy in every way, shape, or form. We would love to be able to offer our assistance to you in any way. We know that...
if you mean that, we could use some economic aid. I do hate to sound like a common European beggar here, but our economy is in free fall at the moment, and we could certainly use some assistance.
We could potentially figure out a way to engineer that. Just to give you an update on our situation, a war is now breaking out over Colombia and the Panama Canal.
Yep.
We have intel that leads us to believe the British may or may not intervene. In which case, does Germany have any military capabilities to fight such a war in this moment? This dire moment.
I can't afford to pay for the current war, let alone anything beyond this. We actually are... I have a bill on my desk here from my party, which is requesting partial demobilization of forces at the end of the war. Something unprecedented in recent German and Prussian history in order to offset the economy. To be frank, no. You have asked us at one of the few points in our history where we are, frankly, barely in power of our own country.
That is very unfortunate to hear.
It is. I will promise you this: if I retain in power, this war is done, and this conflict on goes, and I can stabilize my country, we're happy to provide it. But at present, we have very simple priorities, and that is the I suppose the stabilization of our nation.
And we stand with you in that, and wish you the very best. If our conflict in Panama goes favorably, the Mexican government could potentially then look to finding ways to support the Prussian economy.
That's good to hear. I do appreciate that.
All right, very well, Ambassador. I'll leave you to it. Thank you very much for your correspondence.
Wonderful, thank you. We also got to go call a debt in. The Spanish owe us 40 million, and we're gonna come calling for that. Oh man, we are literally about to be like the beggar empire of Germany here. Yeah, it is War of the Americas. Worst possible time too. All right, let's take a look at releasing countries and see what that would actually do, especially in Africa. Oh, that would be Somalia. We need those ports. Is that it? Oh, man. Yup, we can't release anything else in Africa, it looks like. What's the infamy loss? What's the infamy loss for releasing a country? Is it based on provinces, population, or what is it? Oh man. These administration buildings might be our saving grace. I know what I can do. Oh man. We've already done it though, haven't we? How did it go up since the rehost? Oh my lord. We have to end this war. Jesus fuck. I clicked the button. God damn it, it's the rehost. Oh. We're gonna completely shut down our colonial affairs. We're gonna go to tier 1, and we're gonna cut education and healthcare by 1 level each. That'll free up a ton of bureaucracy, which will offset our tax loss a little bit. That'll help ish.
Hello, Ambassador. This is the Mexican ambassador with a follow-up conversation regarding our last chat.
Hello there. Yes, of course.
So in the case that the British do end up joining, the Eternal Latin Alliance, namely Mexico and Brazil, potentially Portugal as well, but mostly the financial backing would be coming from Mexico and Brazil. If the UK were to join this conflict, we would be willing to guide your nation through these rough economic times financially, if you were to support us militarily in such endeavor.
So out of RP, the issue is I started a puppet play on Japan that gave me, I think, around 100 infamy. I'm at 126. Until I get below 100, I get 50% cut to influence and bureaucracy, and a 90% cut to trade competitiveness. I have a couple things I'm going to try here to stabilize my economy, but I'm in a 3 million per week deficit right now. So,
holy crap! Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's bad.
However,
again,
joining this war would not increase your infamy anymore.
No, but it would continue to incur the military costs, which is the issue. What I'm going to try and do is, out of RP, I'm going to have to lower a bunch of my institutions. I'm just mass building governmental administrations. If I can offset the bureaucratic cost of the infamy hit, I could probably fight the war of you guys, but it really just depends on what I can do here.
Is there any potential for you to speak with the British and try to assure mutual neutrality between the two of you? So while obviously you're not in a great position to fight a war,
how long do we have before this war offsets? What I would suggest here is they know our state. They have spies in Berlin. They know well our government circumstance. If we walk in there talking big. I think they'll just simply call it. Allow us a tiny bit of time to try and stabilize our economic freefall. If we can at least stabilize it to a degree, at that point we'd have some serious sway to push that. We'd be happy to do so. But we need to stabilize the economy, or else there's really nothing else to do here.
And can we get assurances that this would be, if your economy were to be stabilized, that this would be your #1 foreign policy priority?
If our economy was stabilized and we got at least to a balanced budget where we're not about to collapse, yes, we would intervene on behalf of our allies in the Americas.
Okay. All right. I will speak with my ally. Out of RP, the war. He put the RP post to declare war, and then the game crashed. So he was about to start the play.
Gotcha.
But I will speak with my ally, and I will see if he would like to potentially push off the war, because we are not sure if the British are joining or not. They could potentially just be posturing.
Understandable.
So I will speak with my ally, and we will discuss our options, and I will, of course, keep you in the privy as into our decisions.
Very well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's great.
Why is there 500,000?
Yo, real quick. Spain, you have a second?
Yeah, sure.
All right, we can do it in here, but
new channel, I guess.
Oh yeah, so. Hello there, Ambassador. I am an ambassador from the German Empire. As I'm sure you're aware, the recent invasion of Japan has resulted in a run on the markets in Germany, the collapse to a fair degree of Deutsche Bank, and a general economic collapse in Germany. We are here to discuss options with you. You are a good friend of ours. We're in the past. You do currently have a debt to us of 40 million crowns. And
out of RP, our relations is too low. I can't bankroll you.
How the fuck did we lose Oh, because of, yeah.
Infamy, yep.
God damn it.
I was actually planning to hop into your VC right after the... yeah.
I could improve relations, but I need the infamy decay, so I can't.
Yeah, I'm improving right now, so... It's at -45 right now.
Yep.
So it's probably gonna have to be on save edit thing. Yeah, also, another interesting note out of RP. Look at the population of Western Andalusia. There's no one there.
Kaiser.
Hello there.
Hello. Just wanted to give you the heads up. I'm giving you some financial aid in order to assist with your current problems.
Indeed. The collapse of the German market has been shocking, and we are doing the best we can to stabilize it, but it is looking pretty grim at the moment.
I can't offer a lot, but at least £117,000 is headed your way.
We do thank you.
Every little helps.
No, it absolutely does. We do have some plans here to stabilize things. To the Kingdom of Spain, if our relations could get to a point, you are able to subsidize this, correct?
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
Not for very long, however, as our economy is still in a recovery phase, but we are slowly improving.
Very well.
Hello, Kaiser.
Yes, Ambassador. Hello. Your mic's also super low. I can barely hear you, and I have you at 200%.
Better?
Barely.
Yes.
Better?
Yes.
Okay. Dear Kaiser, I was wondering if it would be possible for our Kingdom of Siam to use your German electricity. Yes, it will be sent to us through lightning cloud. I know.
Yeah, magic. Yes, we'd ask you to wait at this time. We need every piece of electricity to maintain our economy, which, oh my god, why did my economy just go in half?
I am hearing you have fallen on difficult times. When possible, Siam will support
Out of
you.
RP, my economy was just at 800 million, and now it's at 569.
What?
Yeah, that just happened. I don't know how that happened. Regardless, we would request that you do late a little bit of time here, as I said before. We need everything at this moment.
I can then also assume your plans on India shall have to wait.
I think that would be a safe bet.
Very well.
We do wish to do many things, Ambassador. I want to be frank with you, and I would ask you to take this message to the Emperor. My personal staff has made me aware of the fact that if the economy is not stabilized, given it was me, the Kaiser, who instigated the war in Japan, there will likely be calls for the absolution of the monarchy. And to be frank, there's very little I could probably do to stop that. We do ask that you keep this behind closed doors, but as good friends of the Germans, as well as good friends of the royal family of Germany, we would like to have that corresponded to him.
Yes, of course. And I am sure that if, God forbid, you were ever chased from your own nation, you are always welcome in ours. And you shall be treated with respect you deserve.
I doubt it will come to that. I hope it will not come to that. But we will see what the day brings.
Yes, and of course, if time for revolution comes, you can always call on Siam.
Of course. And we do thank you for that.
I bid you all the greatest successes that you can have. It would be a shame to see one of such a great house fall. Good day to you, sir.
And you. Okay, this dumb fucking strategy I'm using might work right now. Just maximizing. There we go, we're back up to 1820. I'm maximizing our bureaucratic output. We'll have to delete a bunch of these after, but it might stabilize us. We're down to 1.5 again. Yeah, no, we will go full Weimar Republic. If this blows up in our face, we're going to decolonize and we're going to go democratic Germany. So, just heads up. I will RP that out. This is like a make or break moment. Either this is when the German Empire just really... We get strong. Or we collapse. It's either one. This is make or break. I don't mind playing out either path. It does suck how this happens, but even if we lose this and it goes the other way, it'd be actually pretty interesting, to be honest. So, I'm not opposed to that either. I had kind of like thought about doing a more democratic path for Germany in this game, and this would give me an excuse to do it. So, we'll see. I know. I prefer German Empire path myself. But, we'll see how it goes. We are kind of stabilizing. Institutions, we'll roll back that entirely. We'll roll back education by 1. We should be good with that. Just massive cuts in the government right now. That's what that is. We are pushing the Japanese too. I mean, we are demolishing them. Out of RP also, what I did want to do with Japan is like, this is like the infamy makes it look like we're just about to eat this country whole. What I wanted to do with Japan RP wise is, since we bought the claims of the colonies of Austria and their lands, what I wanted to do was roleplay out basically us seizing and directly taking control of Japan for a period. But really what we'll do is just take like firm rule there. We're basically going to modernize them, and then we're going to release them. We're just going to basically have them be kept in our market. Because what I want long-term with Japan is just them in our market, and I want them to be modernized so they're economically powerful. This was supposed to be more like an extremely heavy-handed, like kind of condescending German protectorate that turns into like us basically having massive influence over them, kind of. Because like with Germany, what I wanted to roleplay at colonially is them role-playing like a more liberal form of colonialism where it's not direct control like the British, but I also had no plans for us to speed rush multiculturalism, so there'd be still obviously undertones of, I mean, Germans would not view them as equals in any of our colonies, right? I mean, they just wouldn't. So I wanted to RP that out. And I think it'll be interesting to kind of see how that would go in the late game. We have 2 more sessions after that as well, by the way. We will start a new game in 3 weeks, so. Goddamn. Oh, come on, baby. We're actually might be good here. Our interest accounts for all of our deficit at this point. We need to get into a surplus. If we max out governmental administrations, these last few will bump that bureaucracy up a bunch. Colonial affairs is going to free us up another 2,000. Education will free us up another 500. We might actually stabilize here. This takes a while. Yeah, austerity measures. What's up, Mage? Unless you start releasing minor German states, I guess. Yeah, that makes no RP sense, so we're not going to do that. Yeah, the Ottomans are, like, ridiculous in this game. They are monstrous. Multicultural Ottomans, too. It's a multicultural Ottomans, multicultural France, multicultural UK. Alright, here we go. Another naval invasion. We're sinking the little fleet that they do still have. And then we're going to land up in the north. We are landing. Holy fuck. We've lost only 4,000 soldiers, by the way. They've lost 13,000 in this war. They're just so decentralized. Like, look at Japan's, like, laws. They're still agrarian. They're isolationist. They have a professional military. It's not very big. They literally only have the economy to sustain, like, they had 20 battalions when we invaded. Like, this is a Japan that never had the Meiji Restoration, right? I mean, this is a backwater ass fucking Japan, which is why I wanted to do this, which is, it's going to be us going in with, like, that super racist, like, enlightened Europeanism. We're like, oh, we gotta bring civilization to people. Like, that's what we've been doing with colonial Germany, right? Which I don't condone, but this is an RP game. So, I mean, these guys are backwater, but we would know that with their population, their culture, they could be an economic powerhouse, and we want to be the ones to bring them into the modern world, and we want to economically take advantage of that, right? So that is our goal here. Now we just have to pull it off. What's up, Tall? Sit the Kaiser on the Christenthenum throne? Whatever territory do they have? We'll need to naval invade Ryukyu too. Let's focus Hokkaido. Of course. All right. That's what Japan's throne is called. Really? I actually did not know that. I think multiculturalism will be nerfed after immigration changes with coming up for 1.2. It definitely will. Our own mod has changed it a little bit. We did split it up. We added 2 types. We've got burgeoning multiculturalism. I think we added this, if I recall correctly. I think Dinarca did this. And then true multiculturalism, I believe. I think we added that. We were planning to reform multiculturalism, and I believe he did that. I could be wrong, though. Oh, man. The play is going down on Colombia. Mexico, Portugal, and Brazil. Let's make one thing very clear. We're gonna do a show of strength. We will lean to Brazil. Our economy is stabilizing-ish. We don't need to be in a war with Britain right now, but we could probably fight it, not gonna lie, if we get this last bit of bureaucracy. Our navy is as strong as Britain's, by the way, just a heads up. Yeah, we have 268, and they have 285, so very similar. Armies are around the same size. I would imagine ours are a bit better. I don't know what their tech is, though. It might be more advanced than ours. Oh my god. build up the rest of these. Jesus Christ. There's someone else there. What's up, Connor? Thank you for the bits, man. Appreciate it. Stonks. Even though I have a degree in history, I struggled for a while to understand the difference in warfare between the American Civil War and Napoleonic, other than the ammo fired and the rifling. Well, it's a lot more than that. Tactics, generally. I mean, just dramatic technological innovations in the American Civil War. I realized only today that was a huge difference. Yep. The guns were accurate. Yeah, because rifling was fully in use at that point. And that made the mid-19th century wars killing fields. Yeah, in the American Civil War, you had machine guns. They were used in the war. You had rifled, very accurate rifles at the time. A lot of soldiers, especially Southern ones, did use older models, but especially for the North, they had access to very advanced modern infantry equipment as well. You had just dramatic changing of tactics, right, where objectives kind of came back to the forefront. To a degree, though Lee, I mean, he did a lot more like hit and run maneuver sort of warfare. It was just like military innovation across the board in really every capacity. So yeah, American Civil War is wild. Like, there's a reason so many like Americans are just like obsessed with it. It's fucking fascinating, you know, and there were so many dramatic changes. Well, we actually have stabilized. We have a surplus, and we have vassalized the Tokugawa shogunate. Alrighty. Okay. I'm gonna describe what has happened RP-wise in just a moment. Let me make sure we're all good here. I'll overview what's kind of happened, because I have a very clear thought of how this has gone in my mind. Let's try and reduce our radicals a bit here. Nope, not quite. Not quite there. We gotta pay off the debt. Bear with me. Men of War from Japan. Fuck. I do have to clear up a bunch of our routes here. Give me just a moment. We could resell some of that furniture. Yep. We're good on that end. Alright, we really need tools and we really need groceries. You need to produce around 9,000. How much of those are exports? 11,000. Same with groceries. Everyone's buying them. Electricity we need more than anything else, actually. Let's work on 1, 2, 3. Need 4,000, that's another 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll do 5 just to be safe. Okay. Okay, we're stable. We're stable-ish for the moment. Holy fuck. Our wings are burned, but we continue to fly close to the sun. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna have to modernize the Tokugawa Shogunate. We'll work on that going forward. We just need to stabilize here for the moment. Okay, so let me explain what's happened RP-wise. So basically, how I'm gonna describe this and justify this. Hold on, what's going on here? Bohemia. Okay, yeah. I'm not gonna get into war, but we support them too. What has happened RP-wise, essentially, is when the Liberal Party came to power in Germany, they wanted to institute a number of reforms. RP-wise, what I wanted to basically suggest, and I plan to write that in my RP post for next week, is that essentially they got a lot of that power due to the Kaiser, Oscar von Hohenzollern. He is a reformer, a liberal man. He's also militarist and he's also pro-colonial, so he's a very contradictory individual. Good representation of 19th century liberals, really. So in my eyes, and what I plan to say was that basically the Liberal Coalition got power due to the Kaiser, because he supported them, he pushed them under the assumption that they had similar views, similar goals, and that he would get more power, right? Because he's an ambitious, power-hungry man. He's a reformer, but he wants to be at the head of things. You got to remember that the monarchy in Germany and Prussia lost a lot of power at the start of the game due to how I kind of RP'd out like the reforms in Prussia at the time. So he's kind of looking to get a colonial empire for Germany and get power back into the monarchy. So for him, the invasion and subjugation of Japan after the purchasing of rights from Austria, it was a chance to legitimize his power, because if they succeeded and they managed to get a country like Japan into the sphere economically and brought all that wealth in, it would really make him popular and legitimize him. In addition to that, obviously, it would be a chance to show strength and continue to get more support behind him. So it was really a very dangerous play by the Kaiser. Borderline, not treasonous, but disastrous, right? What happened is, after the invasion of Japan happened, across the world there was a lot of anger, and so obviously it was understood that this was legitimate due to the Austrian situation. But what happened was that there was a run on the banks in Germany. As many trading partners stopped working with Germany, the currency started to, decline. A lot of the securities and stocks for, German companies went into free fall. The gold standard of the bank, which had been a legitimizing influence up till then, just couldn't handle the economic freefall that happened, and our economy basically collapsed overnight after the beginning of the war. What happens is the Kaiser took more power during this era with the liberals, because he is implementing reforms. You do have to remember that, right? I mean, he is supporting those, and he will continue to do so, which we'll work on more very soon, including probably protected speech, I would say. Yeah, but we'll get to that. But obviously, during this period, the Kaiser has taken back more power. We haven't modified the Constitution, but he's now the full leader of the Liberal Party and has the majority of power in the country, with Bismarck having gone on trial. I wanted to RP that out, but essentially, Bismarck is going to be indicted for breaking the law and breaking the Constitution. He'll serve like a 1-year sentence in prison and then be released. So he'd already be out of prison by now. He has no power at this point, though. So going forward, given we were on the close of, the conservatives and part of the Liberal Party was calling for the Kaiser to be at least ousted from any power, and there were obviously beginning to be calls for the absolution of the monarchy entirely. I would have gone Weimar Republic if we had failed this. But the war was successful. Japan and the Emperor gave terms, and we have, through drastic austerity cuts in government and overhaul of the economy, managed to stabilize our country and are recovering economically. We still have all this infamy, It's going to take us quite a while to lower it. It looks like it'll take around 20 years. So in 1909, we'll have no infamy, assuming we get no events. But, I mean, we effectively brought Japan into our economy, our market, and our economy has gone, it's bounced back. So we're in pretty good shape, to be honest. That's fucking wild. Europe was busy to war with Germany and Denmark at the time. Are you talking about the Civil War, Condor? Pop Santa Lucia below 70,000. Jesus, jeez. So, yeah, that's in kind of my mind how that would have gone, I think. It makes sense. As I said, that any country helps the Confederates to be at war with the USA. I mean, yeah. Most European countries who naturally would have wanted to work with the South, especially the British. I mean, there were conversations in Britain at the time of the Civil War to support the South because, you know, they hated the federal government. But the main issue was the slavery question. Most European powers, especially Britain, were very anti-slavery during that point. They'd all abolished it, right? At least in mainlands. Their colonies were a little bit more of a gray area. But the main reason the South didn't actually get European support by a number of America's enemies and people who wanted to see change was slavery. I mean, ironically, the thing they were fighting for is what stopped them from actually succeeding. So, yes, naval battle in Upper Italy, beautiful. Anyway, yep. Do you have colonies? What's up, Extreme? Yes, we do. We've got Ethiopia, we've got the Congo. Where else do we have? I guess we now have Japan. We have the Sunda Islands in Indonesia. We've got a treaty port in the Qing. I think that's all of them. Yes, we do. Oh, look at that economic growth. Here we go. We're bouncing back. Even though we have no trade competitiveness. You know why we're actually not completely dead right now? You know what I just realized? You know why we're not dead? Because of our laws. We have macroeconomics, which gives us bonuses. We have free trade, which gives us bonuses. And we have laissez-faire that gives us bonuses. If we didn't have those laws, our economy would be dead. The only reason we can actually sustain this infamy hit, the effects of the infamy hit, is because of our laws. It's the only thing that's stopping us from collapsing right now. I just realized that. We're just not as competitive as we normally are, right? Goddamn. Definitely an interesting way to go here. We'll go modern battlefield tactics, I guess. Kind of running out of things to research. What countries are players? 21 in game. Russia, Australia, Spain, Scandinavia, Austria, which has gone federal and completely disunified. They were all old ally when they were an empire, but they split. France, India, Netherlands, Ottomans, Portuguese, Canada, Colombia, Peru, Bolivia, sorry, Colombia for sure, Lanfang, Mexico, Britain, Colombia, which went communist. Oh boy. Egypt, Brazil, Netherlands, and Siam are all players. We started with around, I think, 50 players. This is our, I think, 9th session of the game. So yeah, we dropped a lot. We will be starting a new game on both Friday and Sunday in 3 weeks. The dates after the update on the 14th will be starting new games. Open to everyone. You're welcome to join them. I'm going to be shooting for the Ottomans for the next game. If I don't get that, I'll shoot for Spain. If I don't get that, I'll shoot for Mexico. In order. So we'll see what we end up getting for that next game. Canadian flag? Yeah, it is a pretty nice one, isn't it? Glad that Germany didn't fall to the tides of republicanism. Yeah. To me, I don't know. It would also have been pretty interesting to end this game like that, to be fair, I think. But I'm happy for us to stay strong. We did drop the number 3 power. Russia passed us economically. Fucking hastening. Oh boy. We should bounce back. If we get rid of the infamy hits, which we will eventually, our economy should just really go up quick. We need more convoys. It says we have a surplus, unless the game's lying to us. This says we have it, and then we checked it, and we have no convoys. Okay. We need to build up more ports. Let's hope we have people. We do. We can max out Mecklenburg, and we'll max out Sunda as well. And then we might as well max out the rest of these, because they'll get jobs. Those are very valuable. Alright, we're getting rid of that deficit very quickly. 52 million. As soon as we get to a surplus of the Spanish, They're going to start subsidizing us. They owe us 40 million in debts from World War I, so we're going to get that as well at some point here. All this electricity will do a lot. The ports will get our trade moving again. Yeah, we can recover from here. The Ottomans are almost bigger than the UK. Yeah, it's a nutty Ottomans. That's for sure. Hold on. Ashanti being puppeted by the Ottomans? That's not happening. How the fuck do they have land there? Hello there.
Greetings.
This is an ambassador of the German Empire. We wish to speak with the Ottomans regarding the play that is currently ongoing in Western Africa.
Yes, what about it?
We wish to know why you are annexing that state, given that the Ottomans were given no African claims in the Conference of Berlin.
Firstly, we were given claims in the Conference of Berlin from the French, the secession of Wadai and Bornu. And secondly, this is a further deal that is made between the French and the Ottomans regarding that territory.
Out of RP, did he have it and just release it and now you're annexing it, or is it independent and now he's annexing it?
It's independent and now I'm annexing it. It was a part of the claims of France, but he never got around to it because of the Great War and stuff.
I see.
So
well, given it is a legitimate French claim in that region, I suppose that we will we'll acknowledge that then. We do wish to ask though, does the Ottomans have plans for further expansion in the African region?
Well, other than... Oh, the Ottomans. Sorry.
Correct.
Yes, the Ottomans.
Sorry, I'm just half awake right now. Continue.
Yes, the Ottomans do not have any further plans.
That's good to see. If that is the end of things, then we have no issue then. Thank you for your time.
Of course. Have a good day.
Alright, I was a little worried there. If the French are giving it to them, that's a legitimate treaty. I mean, we're worried about the Ottomans, so, but, like, that's legitimate, so there's nothing really to contend there. Alright, why the fuck does Bavaria have no goddamn infrastructure? Ah, that will do it. There we go. That's better. But I don't have a revolt. Waiting for the My Little Pony Hoi 4 mod RPMP. We did a casual game of it once. It is a very well made mod, I will say. MLP is not my fucking thing, man, but like it's a very well made mod. Like goddamn. It really is. A little early for battleships. Do other people have it? I don't really want to use it, but if other people do, I will. It's not the right one. Oh, a naval base. Let's look at the French and the British. They are using battleships. Wow, okay. Yeah, we have discussed putting in place rules to like limit certain like war PMs like that, but we haven't implemented it yet, so. Alright. Battleships it is. Go ahead and go back up to analytical philosophy. Let's start transitioning into oil-based fuel production as well. With that excess electricity, we'll be able to move even more things into modern PMs like that as well. There we go. We're getting stable here. I think the roleplay is so much fun. It really is. I normally do more. Today I just I did something pretty stupid, and now all my attention needs to go on us stabilizing. We're all right now though. We can start to do some other stuff though. Let's go up to arc welding. We'll go back up to top tier on education as soon as we get another surplus. We're completely getting a little rid of colonial affairs, which makes sense. There's nowhere left to colonize. We have our colonies. We'll go up to investment level, and then we are going to implement more workplace safety concern reform as well when we can do that. We're not quite there yet, though. Okay, max out the ports. I want to completely max out the ports, actually. We have some other places we could do that. People migrate there for jobs. They're going to be very valuable. We really need steel. We are the third biggest producer. Oh man, the Ottomans produce so much fucking steel. We need to catch up on that. We can actually go electric hearth process, so I believe. Are we, if we're not already doing it? No, we already are doing it. Wow. Okay. Then we're gonna need a lot of dyes. I think there actually are some regions we can produce them in too. Yep. Dyes. Porcelain is just all being exported. We can't do much about that. Glass. Same issue. All exports. We're free trade. We can't limit that at all. So we'll need to do some more glass production. Are we completely caught up on all of our... Yeah, we are. Yep. We're gonna get more electricity soon, so that should be fine. We're gonna take a bit of a hit, but we'll get it when we get more electricity. Oh. Need more oil then. 1.3 thousand. We'll go into diesel produced fuel. With 900 left. We'll go oil power and Brandenburg, and then we should be fine. Okay. We still have a bit of a deficit of electricity. That's fine, though. We need to increase its value. Let's use it somewhere else. If there's anyone else for us to actually use it at this point. I know there's one other we haven't been doing. I thought there was. Yep, electric sawmills. And... we can stop importing this, which will help the economy if we do that. We really have a lot of oil. We're importing so much from the Americas. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. No, I think we actually don't have anything else to use electricity on. God damn. So we can hold off a bit on it. Bottle blowers. No, we can't afford that. All right, let's make a phone call to the Siamese. Greetings.
Greetings.
We have managed to stabilize the German economy after a successful war effort in Japan. At this time, we would like to notify your government that you are welcome to go ahead and begin utilizing German electricity, which I guess will magically get to your country.
Yes, through the lightning clouds.
We would
you know.
ask that you not just shift
I
all
would
your...
also like to inform the German ambassador that we have claimed the mandate of heaven and are starting to annex parts of the Qing Empire.
You have our full support.
Very well.
Well, I was just about to. I'm the Dutch East Indies, representative of the Dutch East Indies, and I would like to contest Siam claims on China, as I thought we had established in the conference that no Chinese conference would be taken.
No.
There was an agreement that no European power would take down. There are no European affairs. So technically, it does not... I mean, many powers might see it that way, and we'll have to obviously deal with that as it comes, and we may need to... I mean, Siam, like, we support you to a degree, but we're not going to obviously allow German markets in Germany to fall here. But
I understand,
the conference
but I
did,
would...
in the writing on the conference, it spoke of European powers, not Asian ones, to be fair.
Indeed, and I would also like to press my claim as being perhaps the last and only true Asian power left untouched by European hands unless by trade. I believe that alone justifies my right of taking the empire of the Qing.
That you would deprive Portugal of their treaty part.
Exactly, we are here because of Siamese intervention. It's China, which is completely unacceptable for the Kingdom of Portugal. The integrity of China should be maintained to the other European powers can enjoy the benefits of having trade ports inside the Qing Empire.
If Siam only takes territory in the interior that does not include the port trading areas, that would not contain your ports there.
Then I should have to back down from this particular war, but...
If you're taking coastal regions, yeah, that would cause issues immediately.
Yeah, you can take like Yunnan region, but taking Guangdong is absolutely out of the question. So you can, like, if you can add another conquer goal on them and just enforce that.
That would put me a lot over the infamy. I'm just gonna back down, pay the war reps, and...
Alright. Whichever is good for you.
Very well, I shall accept this for now, but I do believe I am the true holder of the mandate of heaven, and therefore do rightfully own all.
The German Empire acknowledges your claim on this, as we do feel, as you do, that you are the only one remaining who would have this. But obviously, as I said before, you need to do so and take action in a manner that doesn't start a global war. To be frank.
Indeed, we accept that.
Good.
Very well.
Thank you very much that we managed to resolve this very diplomatically.
Absolutely.
I would suggest you back down now because you're about to...
I already clicked the button.
Oh, okay. Okay. Then I think our matters are resolved.
Good.
Very well.
Back to the other matter, I would like to say you're welcome to begin to utilize electricity. We just ask that you don't shift all of your production to it immediately and completely starve Germany proper of electricity. That is our request. So just gradually implementing
Yes, we
it.
shall keep an eye on the price.
Good. As long as that is done, many benefits from it. I'm sure that you will... your economy will grow drastically under its use.
Certainly hope so. And thank you for your support in my claims.
Of course. I want to reiterate, though, again, you have our support. We do wish to see this happen, as your benefit is ours. But wise action. Germany will not march into an impossible war with you.
Next time, I shall seek your counsel first, perhaps.
That would be wise and result in less problems, I think. So that's good to hear.
Very well. I bid you a good day, sir.
Thank you for your time. Jesus Christ. Simon about to start a world war. All right, cool. Get the music reset here. Case closed. Yeah, you either let's just agree or disagree, but it's all good. I assume there's a debate going on. I want to see a tyrant country on a roleplay all over the world, wanting him dead and one by one being conquered. Oh boy. That's the fucking CK3 mega campaign right now. Goddamn, nothing but tyrants. We're almost out of debt. We're getting closer to being below 100. When we get below 100, we're going to be in much better shape. What do we have a big surplus of? Let's see if we can cut down some imports here. That's really profitable. 900? That's also really profitable. The problem is these routes are just too fucking profitable. We do not need to import any liquor. That we do not. Why is our economy dropping like this? There we go. That should do it. You're playing on 1.2.1 or it's just mods? This is a mod for the previous version. We're not using the beta. We've got our own mod. There's a group for the RP community that we do that we're working on mods for the different games. Only Vic really has a game mod right now though. So it's our own mod we put together. It's a compilation of a bunch of really good mods, and we've added a few features. We're gonna add a bunch more for the next update too, for 1.2. We'll have another update out for that. Congo and Franconia. Franconia. There we go. I don't understand why our GDP is so kind of stagnant and stuck right now. I'm curious. No. All right. Welcome back, Escova. What happened with Siam? He stood down. Europe got real upset because he tried to take a coastal region with a treaty port. Whoa. Chinese Civil War. That's fucking wild. We just literally cannot get enough oil. We're basically like the US in modern day, just always needing more oil. Let's get on this really quick before anyone else does. Western Andalusia now below 60,000. Dude, what the fuck are you doing there? We're gonna get a free university from Leopold Eilhart. Nice. We are almost completely out of debt. Only 5 million left. We'll be able to... Actually, we can go ahead right now. I'm gonna lower taxes. I'm gonna increase our governmental spending. Get the military back up to break even. We'll lower taxes again. Yeah, okay. Well, if we're not constructing, we can actually maintain a solid budget now. There we go. That should increase the quality of life quite quickly. In terms of construction, we are very much in need. Glass. Glass, 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 glass. And tools we could definitely use a bit of as well. Alrighty. How's America? Oh, alive? Their economy is nothing. They're a council republic. They're basically communist. Mexico's the power in the region. So is Canada. It's like, it's a split in this game between the three powers in North America. Like, they're all very strong, which is interesting. Also, is he using squad infantry? Because I'm going to go if he is too. Because he's getting all that power projection from it. Yep, squad infantry. Alright. We will not use chemical weapons. That's our line. Yeah, we'll do that for now. Maybe it would be better, maybe just as shitty, and maybe worse. Bit of a deficit, that's fine. The benefits of what we're doing right now are worth it, and the deficit's not too bad, so it's sustainable. There we go. Come on. The little economy that could. Let's do it. Oh, look at that fucking surplus of oil. Alright, let's see if we can put more oil rigs out. Diesel pumps on everything. Anything else we can use oil on? We're drowning in black gold. We might as well use it. We'll go entirely to oil powered. Can we afford that? What's our surplus? We had a surplus. It is... Yeah, we can do that. I just saw it. Where was it? Power plants. Oil powered. Massive surpluses of electricity. With that surplus of electricity... Oh, we had something else we could use. Radio production. No, we actually don't have anything else for electricity to use. It's fun. Having a surplus of electricity is really good because it can meet a lot of your standard of living requirements. It also gives Siam and Japan, when they get the tech, the option to go ahead and get way more modern buildings. is. Yeah, we have surplus electricity, of wood, of furniture, grain. We could really export. We're reselling essentially to people, but if we can create the demand for it and give them cheaper prices, it's worth it. Same with wood. Rubber. Cool. If the Brits would have remained, they would have done worse things. Maybe keeping the 13 colonies would cause horrors you can never predict. Who said they would have freedom? Oh, I still have discussion ongoing. It's all opinion as stated. We'll never know. Are you guys like discussing like alternative history US? I assume that's what this is. Okay.
Hello, Kaiser Oscar.
Hello there.
This is the Spanish ambassador. We are now officially happy to announce that we are ready to begin our debt payments.
Beautiful. We have completely stabilized our own economy, so it's not disastrous anymore, but we're glad to hear that you are willing to repay the out of RP it was 40, right? I think.
Yeah, but I still can't bankroll you for so yeah.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, we need to have cordial relations.
Yeah, shit. Well, I'm improving with you as well, so it'll happen.
Yeah. As a forward payment, we can take on your debt of 4.4 million.
Sounds good to us. That really is 36 million or 35.5, I guess, something like that.
We would also wish to have a trade agreement as it was broken because of stuff.
Absolutely, we can do that. We broke it due to the need for a bit more influence, but we are fine at this point.
Also, out of RP, I don't know what's going on with my pops.
Yeah, you said they're all leaving, right? You know why?
Yeah.
Do you have closed borders?
No.
Yeah, so okay, so I want to bring this up after a game with Hastings and a few other people. There's a fuck ton of countries of multiculturalism, and for anyone who doesn't have closed borders, they're just pulling everyone's pop in. And
I'm not gonna lie, it's borderline game ruining me.
I am only able to sustain a population like that's stable due to my high standard of living. Like they're taking pops from all the other players right now with multiculturalism. So we just need to have a talk about multiculturalism and how we use it in games. Like it's just so strong because of the migration attraction, which will change after 1.2. But you know,
because the problem is like I'm losing 500,000 pops each year due to migration.
Yep, exactly. Well, I mean that's the thing. Like look at the population of the Ottomans or the French or the British right now, right? I mean, like look at that. Just boom, boom, boom. It's good. I mean, multiculturalism. Like just everyone's people are moving there.
Yeah, the thing is also I have so much turmoil because my people can't work jobs because the jobs that would get rid of the turmoil, economically wise, aren't being employed because people are leaving, which leads to more turmoil.
Yep. It breaks your country after a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, sure. I do it in single player to like AIs all the time. It's a lot of fun, unless you're on the receiving end of it, you know.
Yeah, which I am.
No.
But yes, that will be all for this
of course.
meeting.
We're glad to hear that you will be following through with that, and we do thank you.
We would like to ask while we are here what the situation is regarding the Cuba. Because we believe we are ready for a larger scale conflict.
We do see eye to eye on that. At present, there's several issues that are coming to a bit of a head with the British, including the Panama issue with our allies in Brazil, and your own issues after the British sought to take advantage of the assassination attempt upon Otto von Bismarck to siege Cuba from you. It is looking, and we'll need to have more talks in the coming months and years, but I think that there are a number of reasonable demands to be made, and if they cannot be enforced, then Germany is happy to support our allies in whatever will happen.
Indeed, we will return in a few years to discuss this further.
Very well.
Hello, Germany.
Hello, Ambassador.
We have some troubling things to speak about today. I believe you are informed about the tearing situation in China.
The civil war there. Yeah, a tragic affair.
Yes. Many parties, not us, I hope, believe that this has been the cause of the Siam recent invasion.
There's no evidence to suggest that's the case.
Well, they were the last one to attack China, and now China has exploded.
If you want to point a finger at Siam after an already unstable Qing has started a civil war, I mean, any country can do it, but we'd like to see them do it to our face, to be frank.
Yes. But on that subject, we believe it may come time soon to reorganize the situation in China.
What do you precisely need by that?
The great economic benefits we've all enjoyed from it will go away once it has finally shook itself apart. We're wondering if there was any German interest in maybe more direct rule of Chinese provinces in order to keep them
If that
stable.
conversation is to be had, as I'm sure you're aware, the monarchy of Siam has claimed the mandate of heaven.
They believe that they will be able to rule all of China?
It's been done many times before, has it not?
From the north, maybe, but never from the south.
Of course, but it's been done. I will be honest, I do also,
it would disrupt the balance of power if your subject, or what your relationship is to them.
We're aware of that situation, and I think a Qing situation couldn't result in Siam annexing all of the Qing. That's just not an option.
Yes.
I'm open to a conference with it. We support our friends in Siam. We are aware that we do support their claim, but at the same time, we're realistic about it, in the sense that a country like Siam can't eat all of China and not expect major global issues.
Yes.
But in the event of any more direct situation with the Qing, given Siam's claim, I think that would play a very big part of it. We're not opposed to a conversation, though.
Yes.
While you're here, we do have several matters we need to broach with you. As I am afraid that things can get out of hand very quickly here. Your annexation of Cuba, which, make no mistake, we are very aware.
We do not annex Cuba.
Let me continue here. Regardless of whatever you want to call it, the occupation, the subjugation of Cuba, it occurred directly when Bundeskanzler Bismarck had been shot. There's no link we found between the assassin and your government. We don't think that's the case. However, we do view it as you taking advantage of Prussia and the German state at the time being weakened to take advantage of the Spanish. They are wanting it back. We do support them. We have a lot of economic relationships with your country. We don't want this to go anywhere damaging. But we do fully support their right to take back the territory of Cuba. So we are curious to hear what, if you plan to continue to maintain that situation.
We believe that there is a Council of Europe. This is a shocking interest to us. We do not conquer it, and they are free to rejoin the Spanish anytime they wish. It is our deal that we had
They are
negotiated.
a dominion of Britain. If Spain was to start a war against them, you would join.
Not necessarily. All of our dominions have had independent wars that we have not been involved in. The Canadians.
So if I send a
certainly have
telegram
had
right
interest.
now to our friends in Madrid telling them to start a play in Cuba, we won't see Britain joining it, correct?
We may or may not. I do not know about this.
That is why I'm having this conversation with you, Ambassador. You could be as coy as you like. It will get nothing solved here. I'm speaking
I
with
do
you
not understand
in good faith.
why the Germans would be willing to risk a European war over some islands in the New World.
You think there
Does
are
that seem
many
worth it to
countries
you?
who would support your actions there?
In reaction to German interests in the region, yes.
Germany is not involved. We're supporting Spain. You're not going to twist my words.
You're
Hold on.
involving yourself.
You're wasting both of our time right now. We're trying to have a conversation about whether
Yes.
you were going to maintain Cuba. Okay, that's unfortunate. Then in that case, I don't think there's anything else for us really to discuss here.
I'm valorously disappointed by this.
We are
We're
too.
not occupying Cuba. It is a free state.
You took advantage of an assassination attempt on one of our leaders.
Yes.
You can claim whatever you want. We all know what it was, and
It was a long-formed plan. We had gotten the okay of all the parties in the region.
That does not forget hostile actions taken by other powers. We would prefer an amicable relationship with Great Britain, but
as do we.
For that to continue, it will require the cessation of Cuba to our allies in Spain.
Fine. Whatever. If they wish to colonize again into the New World, that is their crime to commit.
We're all colonial powers in Europe of varying degrees.
We are decolonial power now. We have maintained decolonization for a very long time, sir.
As you like. Regardless, in that case, I will ask again. Are you willing to give Cuba back to the Spanish?
We are not. We will not give them anything. If they wish to take, if they wish to conquer a free nation, then they will. That is their choice.
They're not free.
We're not going to risk a European war over this.
Power over Cuba. That is the issue here.
If they wish to colonize a nation in the year of our Lord 1890, then that is their choice.
I will say
if they have the support of the powers in the region, then that is shocking to us. But
if I go to Spain and tell them to start a play, will you join it or will you not?
Sorry to interrupt this conversation, but there has been a Council of Europe called regarding the status of China.
Ah, of course. All right.
We shall go to this.
Okay, are they here now? Yes. Well, as I said, the Ottoman Empire has called for a Council of Europe concerning the Qing Empire, given their current and recent civil war. Will allow them to bring forth their position, after which the rest of the powers of Europe may react. You may have the stage.
Thank you very much. We appreciate being able to speak on this matter first and forthwith. The issue of the declining empire of Qing has been of concern to many European nations for some time, as fears of such an event such as this was inevitably going to be not unfounded after the exploitation of the Chinese by all of our nations, which, as we all agreed, was perfectly consented by all of the rest of us. However, at this moment, we see that the treaty ports and the trade that we benefited from the Qing have dried up as their civil war continues to rack them and cause more issues for all of our nations. We believe that it is time that we open the discussion to a full partition of the Qing Empire between our requisite nations.
Around treaty ports, or you're speaking about seeing the different parts of Qing as different spheres of influence of the nations here, or are you proposing a direct occupation of said lands? Just for clarification.
I'm proposing, personally, the Ottoman delegation proposes that we begin to divvy up the lands of the Qing Empire for our various empires abroad. Does anybody else wish to speak on this matter?
No, we believe this is the right way to go forward. The situation we all had with China was wonderful for the world's economy. It provided for a very fast recovery to the Great War. But it believes us that the time of that is ending now. We must react in kind.
In particular, I believe it's
The
the
Kingdom
Shaman.
of Portugal initially would uphold the status quo in China, no matter what who will be the ruler in Beijing. But seeing the call for a participation by most of the European nations, we can also support that diplomatic play if the Portuguese demands are met.
I believe the problem that we will all run into is exactly dividing up the particulars of how to divide up China and how to do it evenly, so to speak.
Correct. The issue here, as far as Germany sees it, as there are many matters. I mean, if we were to do this, as part of it is we would, if they wish for it, wish to see the Mexicans and the Brazilians also given some here. This is a Council of Europe, most certainly, but we would need to do many of the major powers. In addition to that, I would remind everyone gathered here today that the King of Siam has claimed the mandate of heaven. I know that's a complicated issue and is not as simple as just that, of course, but I mean, we have to consider the legitimacy effects here, as well as the economic problems that might arise, primarily, which would come in the form of if there was direct rule in China of certain areas, it would give many nations, including European powers, not access to many of the resources they produce cheaply. I mean, there are some economies in Europe that would not be hit by this, but for such economies as the United Kingdom, Germany, and others who do, of course, work primarily as trade powers, this would bring many problems long term.
Here.
Russia will add that if such division were to happen, we would claim Manchuria.
The French would
Out
like
of
to
RP
speak,
hastening, Manchuria was already claimed and accepted by Europe during a couple sessions ago. There's just not been a player on to start a war. You already have a claim on it, but as GC, obviously, you can't start
Outer
wars.
Manchuria was, but I think that Hastings was claiming all of the rest of Manchuria.
Oh,
as
okay,
well.
gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, okay. I think the player claimed Outer Manchuria was unclear. I will declare war for that, but like just to have like Russia be ready for a player. I'm claiming out all of Manchuria for their RP. The Free States.
Did Walcart tell you to do that?
No, I think Walcart left.
Okay, I do want to remind you, man, in Vic, GCs are not allowed to RP and do shit like that.
I'm not RPing for myself, I'm just saying, yeah.
Well, the French delegation would like to speak that it is true the trading power of the Qing is very wealthy and rich, but if the instability does occur again, the flow of goods will be disrupted for all European powers. The partition of lands, I hear that many European nations are in dire need of pops to employ. Maybe these cheap labor can be useful to expand our industries as well.
Yes, I believe one of the values that we should all consider is the population of these states. From our studies, it is that they are extremely large, destabilizingly large for smaller nations.
The issue, again, I want to reiterate, though, is all of those pops are currently being utilized in order to produce cheap goods in the Qing's market of what we all benefit from. A division here would be innately unequal. Germany would likely walk out of this, like many of the great powers, in a very good position, but others, including major powers, would in the long term suffer great economic hardship, as those jobs would be put into the domestic markets of these other European powers and no longer be able to supply cheap goods to the world anymore. Meaning those countries that get the lion's share of this deal would be dramatically in a better place. Which is why, again, we do question the long-term danger of this.
The Portuguese Empire will also just support a partial partition of China. So for us, taking the mainland China or the inner Chinese region would not make sense, since it can destabilize even the strongest European nation because of the high population number.
We also want to bring up
yes.
another matter really briefly. I know it's not the direct reason here, but the Ottomans have started yet another war in the Middle East. It was our understanding that the Singh Emirate along with the Sikhs were under the British dominion, and we'd like to question why these lands are being annexed. I mean, the Ottomans have expanded non-stop since the end of World War I, and we do want to bring this up since we do have a Congress here.
Yes, we made a deal with them over the thing.
What were the terms of this deal exactly?
Uninterrupted flow of oil in exchange for it.
The problem here is that you are giving away vast regions of territory to a growing power that is quickly becoming dangerous.
I didn't know we were talking about Spain here, Germany.
I said Ottomans, didn't I? Regardless, it's
yes,
about
and
the
I
Ottomans.
was saying that we can say the same thing about Spain. Would you wish to object to them obtaining?
Before we
Cuba?
get into all of that, we'd like to just, if this is not an issue for the great powers, that's fine. But do any other great powers have an issue of Britain just like giving pieces of territory continuously away to the Ottomans right now?
The Dutch must say that we support the German position on this. The Ottoman Empire is currently sitting as the #2 worldwide economy. To compare them to the Spanish, who are the number 17th economy, is a rather strange position. However, we do see an issue with a complete British capitulation to and transfer of territories to a world power that is growing as quickly as the Ottomans.
Again, they have been in non-stop war. We had hoped to cooperate with the Ottomans after the end of World War I. We had good conversations with them, but I mean, just the speed of which this has been happening is pretty. I assume these are going to be integrated states and not released at any point. Ambassador from the Ottoman Empire.
We intend to ensure that the Singh Emirates will no longer engage in any form of slave trade, engage in any form of serfdom, and engage in any form of exploitation of their people, mostly Turanian people, especially the Persian minority within the nation.
That's understood. You use that justification for all your recent wars, which is valid, but do you plan on releasing it in the future once you've done so?
We intend to release the regions of Afghanistan, but we will not be releasing the regions of Khorasan, Sistan, and Tajikistan.
You're publishing one, right?
Yes.
We do ask again, are we so the Dutch and us both do have a major issue, are there any others?
The Portuguese delegation don't really like to see Muslim state growing with such rapid pace against fellow Catholics. Especially not in the Afghanistan region, but in Africa and in Europe.
Is this really what century is this? Are we really going back to religious politics?
We do agree that the religious element of this is not the problem. I mean, regardless of their religion, it is more a question of political power here, and the balance of power, which we do see is quickly getting out of hand here.
The balance of power was already upset with the unification of Germany and the dissolution of the Austrian Empire. We believe that there is already an issue of a balance of power, and it is already changing and shifting
Ambassador,
rapidly.
your economy is greater than ours. Your military is very equal. I don't know what you're referring to in that capacity.
Yes, but our economy was only able to do so because of the shrewd employment of our people during
Regardless,
the
since this play is about to come to a head, we are going to make a formal petition for the Ottoman state to back down in this play.
Hear, hear.
The French will not support this petition as we believe this position is merely an agreement between two great powers, and the Singh Emirate is not even British territory but a dominion.
We understand. We are fine with them being independent, but we do not wish to see them under direct Ottoman rule. Alternatively, if you do wish to get rid of this dangerous stuff in their government, as long as you make a promise to release them, we have no issue. Otherwise, we are going to declare for them here.
As stated before, we will be releasing the regions of Afghanistan.
Including the entire region.
The entire region?
Correct.
Well, then we believe that you should simply renege your claim upon Japan instead, since that is already a huge bite that you have taken against us.
And they have sided with them.
Very well.
The Germans have decided to throw Europe into war.
Oh! This is not acceptable. How could this happen?
They have
It
decided
is
to throw us
growing
in
to
a
the
war.
point. We have watched Ottoman expansion non-stop since the end of World War I. Their economy eclipses all but the British. Their military grows by the day. This is unacceptable, and we will intervene as needed here. We will not see the Ottomans become what they once were centuries ago.
The Ottomans are allies of the French, and we are going to defend them with arms. And also, out of RP, this is kind of risky. I don't like how we can't join because it's not a part of the diplomatic maneuvers phase anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you waited
I
a little
can,
late.
because I know that's why I was trying to do this very quickly before it went down to the line like that. But
I think it would have been better if we started a separate diplomatic play out of RP.
Yeah, start a separate one.
Yeah,
if you want to save it, I'm
unfortunately,
fine with doing that. I just didn't want to like have them like rush down and be able to do nothing here.
That's fair.
Yeah. Or will you call in Russia in this?
Yeah, we would.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Travesty. The aggressive Germans.
We're
are
open
going
to
at it
peace
again.
talks. We don't want a war here, but we're not going to allow the just continuous expansion of the Ottoman state at this point. It's just not an option anymore.
The expansion of the Ottoman state into regions that are agreed upon by other great powers is none of Germany's concern. You
That
are
is
in
simply
fact,
not how it works.
breaking Congress of Berlin's treaty by annexing the regions of Congo, which were supposed to be given to the Belgians. So the mere fact that you are trying to phrase everything simply as Ottoman aggression, when you have overstepped your bounds.
Likewise,
sir.
you had no claim on the interior of Wadae. You had no claim on Ashanti. You made a deal with the French. That's legitimate. But again, there's nothing to stand on here. We have no issue with your current borders. We can respect them as they are now. But this expansion is not stopping, and it needs to stop before the Ottomans
We
get
did
to the
make
point
claims on
that no
such
one can
regions,
contend them.
We were given them.
Sorry?
We did make claims on the regions of Wadae, and they were given by the French acceptance.
Correct. You're making deals with them. Again, that's semi-legitimate, but it is very much a gray area. Like I said, we do not wish for a war
Also,
here, but we are not going to see this expansion continue.
I will say we'll start a new war. Also, Ottomans, you can't have aerial reconnaissance in 1891. Sorry.
Oh, we
Can
can't.
we? Can everyone, hastening? Can you write down what can we use and what we can't
True.
use?
That does need to
Yeah,
be clarified
we
here,
are-
because I keep checking France and changing to like what they're doing.
Yeah, we're
Because
all-
we don't have rules on it. We need to do that. We need to oversee the rule set. We're going to have a meeting for that probably in a week or two. We got to work on that, but for this game, we got to figure that out.
I was honestly about to switch to mechanized infantry anyway.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
God.
I mean, I have tanks, but like,
damn it.
goddamn, it's 91, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
It's 1891. I will say 1900. I will have a line for 1900 for like 1905 for squad infantry, battleships, and 1915 for like tanks and aerial reconnaissance.
Okay,
Can we
so
write it down?
1905, we can't have battleships right now, which means that Hammurabi and I will both have to nerf our navies.
yeah, I can take that down right now.
And then
Okay.
no aerial reconnaissance, only motorized reconnaissance, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then, what about chemical weapons? Are we allowing that?
It's
And
91.
I take it no carriers.
Flamethrowers. Of
Yes,
course
no
there's
goddamn
carriers.
carriers. Bloody, oh god.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm missing 3 techs, and I have every single one of them at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
I do
it's
too.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
I know.
All right, one by one. The organization, no more than trench infantry until 1905. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Bolt action
Bolt
rifles, of course.
actions
Siege, of course.
is too late.
Everyone has bolts
Siege
now.
artillery, and then motorized reconnaissance.
Yeah.
and then-
How about specialist companies? What is available? What is not available?
I think specialist chemical warfare has been open for too long. I think maybe. Okay, I think chemical warfare, but like I will say that it is a bit pariah in RP to do so. People react, so it's yeah.
So
I will allow it
theoretically,
for now.
theoretically we could use it if you are a
Yes.
pariah. Cough, cough. Central European nation with 100 infamy.
Fuck it. Pains.
I will. I mean, okay. I'm saying that I might add more infamy for using it too much, but I'm not ruling against it now.
Can we unpause the game?
There's a war about to start.
Yeah, exactly. Out of RP, will Germany start a different play, or?
I'm already in this one because I clicked it. So can I back
Yeah,
in?
can
No,
you
I
not
can't
go back
back
to
in.
Wait,
neutral?
Hammurabi, you should be able to
Oh, I
join
can.
start a separate one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah, if the war starts, Germany can back down and not because they don't have any war goals against them. But the only way for the Ottomans not to have.
I did it. I got out of it. It's fine. We're good.
Yeah, without a truce.
The thing is, like, hold on.
one.
The problem right now is I can't start a play on the Ottomans for some reason.
Yeah, because they're in a play.
Oh yeah.
No,
I
that
see.
doesn't
Okay.
matter. You can start a play against me even when I'm in a play.
When the war starts, yeah.
Yeah, when the war starts.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we unpause until the war begins, and Germany starts a new one, and Russia will join.
Okay.
Goddamn.
Okay. Who increase the force speed, please? Free speed.
Are there any other clarifications we need for the status of like tech in the game?
Yeah. I think what's like we will have more discussions about like production techs and like buff techs and stuff. But what's now it's like 1905 for squad, 1915 for mechanized, 1915 for aerial, and we'll have more discussions before next game for earlier techs and stuff like that.
Very well.
Yep. Okay, I believe, gentlemen, seeing that we just had a war declaration in this chamber, I believe that this session has ended.
Goddamn.
Like the whole session?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was a conference. Yeah.
Session
Okay, cool.
for the Council of Europe. Yeah. So
Yeah,
sorry.
okay, good. That's just worried. Okay, cool. We're good.
No, it's fine. I'm just. I should have used a different word.
My God.
Out of our question, are we allowed to make moves against China? So
no.
You're allowed to make
could.
moves, but like I don't think. No one agreed to anything, and you might make
You're
people
not
angry.
protected against any action from other powers, but you can.
Yes.
yeah. That was the question.
As a GC, I will not stop you, but people might be angry, and I will not stop them from being angry. So.
Of course.
And okay. So Council of Europe is this Council of Europe meeting is ended. Socializing session. You may go back to your channels.
God save us all.
We would request a formal meeting with the Ottoman state. We do want to try and de-escalate the situation.
Very well. We may meet.
Greetings. I'm an ambassador here on behalf of the Kaiser. Before Germany's military is already mobilizing at this point, we do want to reiterate, we do not want a war here. We will fight it if needed. But we just cannot... We have watched since our last talk. We spoke with you, the previous government did. We were very hopeful that we would have a good future with the Ottomans, but watching state after state be annexed by you, under what is good justifications, but a clear lack of a desire to allow enfranchised rights and integration of these states, it is past the point of... It is getting disastrous in the lens of our own country here. So again, we would like to seek to stop a war, but we will go ahead if needed here.
So, you wish to cease the war, and what would be the terms in which you would want to do so?
If you would be willing to give us assurances that after the annexation of Sing Emirate, or whatever you wish to do with it, you promise to release it in its entirety, we could potentially concede Khorasan as an integrated Ottoman state, and give us promises that you will not do continued expansion in the future like this. We could see a de-escalation here.
So, would that, for example, mean that were we to have any kind of partition of the Qing, you would not allow us to be able to take any of those territories?
The dividing of the Qing is one matter we would give a caveat to, as if all the powers are doing it, there's no reason not to have the Ottomans involved. But barring that,
So, just so we are clear, the Qing Emirate will have to be annexed and then released as an independent state.
is that what your play was?
It was to puppet them, which then would allow me to annex them.
Okay.
Yeah, so like 10 years after.
I'm fine with you doing the play, puppeting them, banning slavery, and then hastening doing an edit, just like annex Coruscant. We can concede that in the peace deal. We're fine with that, if you're up for that.
I believe that the only reason that we would do so is if the Germans were willing to turn over to the Belgians the territories that were claimed within the Congress of Berlin.
Given there have been a number of deals maintained there, and the proximity out of RP, there's a player there, right?
At the moment, no.
Okay. Oh, then no.
Is there no other alternative that the Germans are willing to take to?
We would be willing to cede the regions that Belgium did claim, including Ecuador and Catania, if in exchange the Ottomans would release Ashanti as an independent state or transfer it to another power. We'd accept those terms.
Sorry, which regions are you talking about?
Ashanti, the region that you made the deal with the French for, which we had the issue with. Actually, it is.
No. What regions are you talking about for your nation?
Releasing Katanga and Ecuador, I believe. I don't think the Congo was directly claimed by them, was it?
Ecuador? You mean Equatoria?
Yeah, Equateur.
The Congo was meant to go all fully to the Belgians, as they were basically advocating for their historical claims. Out of our
We'd be willing to do it, but we would need, obviously, a concession from the Belgians, monetarily or otherwise, for the purchase of the Congo, given large amounts of Germans did die there, given that the tribes did fight us in an attack. We cannot give away territory that German blood has been spilled for no cost.
So just so I'm understanding this correctly, this would be a agreement that the Ottomans then would give up the Kingdom of Ashanti, the Germans would give up the Congo and Katanga, and then the Ottomans would then also have to give up the Qing Emirate?
Correct. We would allow for the annexation of Coruscant, and in addition to that, you would make us to promise that your current borders you would not expand past.
I am not sure this is a satisfactory deal for us.
Do you have an alternative you wish to propose?
That we support the Germans in a conflict against whatever power they're choosing.
Is that a blank check diplomatic statement in terms of who we would go to war with?
That would essentially be, sorry. Cheese just posted that now I have Western Thrace being Spanish.
Yeah, because they're all moving to because you're multiculturalism. Everyone is.
I have 26.
As I said, is this a blank check? Like, if we go to war with someone, you'll back us on it?
The only stipulation would be that we will not go to war against the French, as they are our allies.
If you're willing to sign a blank check to go to war and out of RP, it's an out of RP agreement, right? We could accept that and have no issue with the annexation of the Qing Emirate.
Would the Germans be willing to state which nation they would intend to go to war with?
It would be the British. There's a number of countries with problems with them in the Americas over the Panama. They took advantage of the assassination attempt on our Bundeskanzler Bismarck by sieging Cuba from our allies in Spain. We have a bone to pick with them. And I think the Ottoman support to be able to end their colonial power would be reasonable enough for us to accept the situation.
We would need to confer with the French on the matter. before we would accept any kind of conflict with Britain specifically. Would that be
we
acceptable?
do need a timeline on that. That would be very short then, for an answer.
It would be out of RP 5 minutes.
Sure, I'll open VC. I did not expect that at all. At all. Huh. That's interesting. I mean, for us, like, realpolitik-wise, like, the Ottomans are getting fucking strong. Like, they're strong. Their economy is bigger than ours. They're multicultural, and they're just eating pops left and right. Like they're literally sucking the people out of the whole planet to their country. But...
Greetings to the German government.
Hello there. Ambassador, I am waiting for a diplomatic correspondence before I can discuss any sort of political agreements. What brings you here?
We received your telegram about your invitation to take part in the upcoming war against the Ottomans. And
Indeed.
The Portuguese government is willing to entertain ourselves with this proposal.
That is good to hear. We do not wish to see this war happening. We are in talks to de-escalate, potentially. There is a discussion being had, but if that does fall through, what are the Portuguese looking for in the eventuality that we do go down that path?
Well, because the Portuguese are already in an alliance with Brazil and Mexico, if we join, we can also bring these two nations with us. So because of that, I would like to give the province of French Guyana to the Brazilian.
Absolutely.
And
We received a letter from him, and we fully would support that situation.
And regarding Portuguese claims, we are only thinking about some colonies, either in Morocco or in somewhere West Africa.
Hello. Sorry,
Hello there.
Hope I'm not walking in on anything that's sensitive.
Friends of ours are always welcome here. We're just discussing with the Portuguese the potentiality if this does go into what could very quickly become a second world war. What would be required for that eventuality. I will reiterate yet again, though, to both of you, we did just have peace talks with the Ottomans to try and de-escalate. That may still happen, but we'll have to see.
Well, I think currently our only limitations are that the Treaty of Lisbon stipulates that member nations cannot declare war on each other, but I do not believe that would be an issue for us three, as I'm not aware of either of us, Spain or Portugal, that would side with an opposing force in this matter.
Correct.
That's true.
Also, I would like to, just as a quick interjection, I would like to question you on Siam, as my colony in the East Indies, my autonomous dominion. They have issues with the Siamese. I was wondering what your stance is on this, as I am largely leaving them to have autonomous policies.
To be frank with you, it's a complicated situation. The Kingdom of Siam is full of vast resources. They're a very pivotal part of the German economy and German market system. We do officially support their claim on the mandate of heaven, but realistically, we do know it causes quite a few problems.
Oh, certainly.
We're not going to support, I think, what they think that we might, which is just them devouring the Qing. We will push for, obviously, Siam to get concessions in the eventuality of a partition of the Qing. A healthy one at that, even perhaps giving up of some of our own demands, but we will not back them to an unreasonable degree. So if you wish to communicate to the Dutch East Indies, we made it clear to them too, like we will not allow for, we will at least not support the Kingdom of Siam to an unreasonable degree, if that makes sense.
Certainly. I mean, personally, my central government has very little opinion on the matter. We just wanted to clarify for the sake of our own autonomous dominion and hope that they weren't going to be getting themselves, and by extension, our empire, in any trouble.
Of course. Likewise, we're a good partner of the Dutch, and we would be likewise a good partner of the Dutch East Indies. We do not enter this in a cavalier manner, but the Siam is a very close partner of Germany. We want this to be done in a reasonable manner, and we will stand by that statement.
Oh, well, certainly. Well, I'm glad for that clarification. I'll pass the message on to the East Indies when I get the chance.
Perfect. Good to hear.
While-
Also, regarding the other matter, in the eventuality of a war with the Ottomans, the Dutch, do they plan to involve themselves?
We certainly do support the stance that you took in the Council of Europe. We do agree that the Ottomans should be slowed down in their expansion, as they are currently rapidly growing beyond anyone else other than the British. And even then, I predict they'll probably take them over shortly.
Very shortly.
And we do not believe that is good for the balance of power across the world. Our government wishes to strike an international order and global power, and that can't be done with upending of the balances that we are seeing in this modern world. So we can say that we'd certainly support you if the case that war was broken out.
Very well. Again, I do pray for a diplomatic response. Germany came out of the First World War in many ways largely unfazed, but we saw the cost on other countries, and we know that given an unsuccessful war, the consequences would be, well, it would break a country. But we also do believe there's a very delicate power at this point in the world as far as Germany sees it. We are powerful in many ways. I mean, in the rankings of the world, we are #1. We also know realistically that our economy is beginning to quickly lag behind others. We have not instituted universal acceptance of foreign cultures, and we still find it very strange that so many other countries have it, to be frank. So we will quickly start to lag behind here, and our worry is that if a power like the Brits, which have historically been very hard to work with, or the Ottomans, which have grown, as we see it, very dangerous in just expansion, get a hold of too much, it will get out of hand very quickly.
Oh, certainly. It's a very tense and troublesome world that we find ourselves in. But I'm sure we'll manage to hopefully not rock the boat too much, and hopefully we can come out of this without a European destroying war.
We hope so too.
Our current General Protector, he is calling for an expansion of the Dutch military once again, so we'll be ready at any stage if there's a war. He intends to make up for the embarrassment of the last war on our end, if there is a new one.
That's
but our government's official stance is, of course, hopefully strive for peace, but prepare for war.
That's always I think, a safe bet. In these times especially, more than any other.
Certainly is. Also, we were considering the island of Ryukyu. Since obviously the Japanese mainland is under German protection, however, we have heard tales and seen reports of the utter starvation that is going in the island of Ryukyu, and we were wondering if...
Out of RP, I do not know how they got independent at all. Do you know?
They are independent. Yes,
yeah.
they start as independent.
Oh, they start as independent. Oh, yes, okay, I see. Yes, what regarding it?
Well, were the Germans planning on sending any sort of force to relieve the population, or would the Dutch be okay to do that themselves?
You're welcome to do so. We do caution you against anything. I also do want to reiterate with Japan, our intention long-term is to release them. We do not plan to keep them as a puppet and for much longer. We are trying to modernize them and assist their economic development, which I was going to subsidize when I forgot to do that. We do plan to keep them as part of the German market, but we do want to open them up to other countries in Europe and around the world to trade with once they have. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we see the suffering that's going on in Ryukyu, and we see us being the third most affluent country to live in, and we just can't morally stand by such a situation. So
Of course.
If no other country is
We have no issue with it at all.
going to do it, then we will yes, we will petition a mission up to set up and go and develop the island ourselves.
Very well. We have no problem with this at all.
Oh,
While everyone is here that are friends of Spain, we would like to mention that the British diplomat in Madrid just barged into our the Queen's court with an ultimatum that we drop our claims on Cuba as well as hand over Puerto Rico to them.
I believe that was our fault. We had a recent talk where they approached our government, and we did push aggressively and did demand the cessation of Cuba back to you. They made all manner of odd claims, but we did push very hard for that. It appears that they did not take that well.
Yes, as they have been threatening war with us now. Also, out of our P, 4 million Spanish people migrated to Constantinople.
Also, gentlemen, this,
oh my God,
this
4 million?
Yes, my country is.
Oh yeah, wow.
Dude, that's.
Yeah, like my country is dead. Look at my GDP, Hastings.
Oh my God, yeah, you're collapsing.
Oh yeah, 91 million. Yeah.
On another
So many
note,
people, because it's not. It's to be fair, it's not just the Ottomans though. Like, the French have true multiculturalism. The British have burgeoning multiculturalism, which is a little bit more lax. I know a couple other people have it. I thought too. I think Mexico does.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mexico.
I mean,
Brazil
I have
doesn't.
national supremacy.
Yeah, I have cultural exclusion, which.
I tried to get multiculturalism through, but realized there was no point because I have too much.
You have to. It's also in the rules. You have to RP it in a realistic manner, because acceptance of other cultures is a dramatically wild thing to do. So you need a good narrative with it.
Especially in the Vast Empire. So
I was gonna make a post for it for next session about like the depopulation after the Great War and like the migration crisis that followed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Also,
you're 16th most populous nation in the world. That's hurt. Like that hurts, man.
Also, I've paid off 13 million more in bankrolling you, Ham.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm just putting it in the bank in case we go into war here. I'm also about to drop below 100 infamy, so that'll be beautiful.
Can someone help the Swedes against the socialist uprising?
Yeah, I'll do. Oh, god damn it, that's gonna complicate this, but I'll do it.
Portugal can do it. Don't worry.
Yeah, we.
Yeah, the female that leads the socialist rebellion, Charlotte Falsten.
Hello.
President Charlotte Falsten. Yeah.
This is a envoy from the Scandinavian Empire.
The German Empire has mobilized and is sending a contingent of 100,000 soldiers to secure your territory.
The Portuguese Empire is also willing to send a small contingent force.
Yeah, the Dutch are also sending a small contingent in response.
We thank you very much in helping to preserve European values.
Johan van Wiggle is coming. Sadly, there's an N between the I and the G, but I want to call him Wiggle, so his name's Wiggle now.
Yes, long live Emperor Aina.
So I got a weird bug. I got stuck like in a mobilized state for my entire country, which is really odd.
Oh yeah, I hate when that happens. It's so bad.
I assume they're still discussing things up there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. I know exactly where this is gonna go, and I'm not opposed to it.
By the way, Hastings, what would happen if the Colombian player won't show up for next week's session?
It depends on what, if they say anything. If they just don't show up, they will not be protected.
All right. Yeah, but because of the war is not happening, both the U.S. and Canada just get strengthened significantly. So the original balance of power in this war is changing rapidly.
With US?
If with both the U.S. and with Canada, they both have a much larger and stronger army and navy than they had before, when we wanted to originally declare.
I understand what the player said a bit before that they had to leave and they had an emergency, so...
Yeah, that's understandable. I'm not questioning that.
Yeah.
I just realized I'm also completely funding your military hastening as Russia, so... like with supplies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
My economy's doing some weird stuff. Oh.
12 minutes left in the game as well. Well, we're gonna figure out what's going on in the future at the end of the session, so we'll have the whole week to prepare for what's to come.
Sorry to interrupt everything, but hastening, I need you to switch to be the Sing Emirate so that you can accept the white peace because they aren't doing it.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just pause. Sorry.
Sorry, thank you.
Feels safer to have it paused when I change tag.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that.
So,
Okay, I proposed it. Did you accept?
There we go. It's accepted.
Yep.
It should go through in a second. There we go.
Can't change anything back. Hopefully that's good.
Thank you on that.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll go back up.
We're gonna go ahead and immediately push. Is Shalab in here? No, he left. Okay. What's up, Lou? Oh, thank you for the raid, man. Sorry, I just noticed that. I was a lot going on. What's up, man? How's it going, guys? Hammurabae streaming some Victoria 3 roleplay. There's potentially about to be a second world war here. We're just waiting to hear back at the moment. Hope all is good, Lou. Were you playing Hoy, man? What were you playing? If you're still here. I think it was a bit ago. Ban multiculturalism until the 1900s. I mean, the thing is, multiculturalism could be done earlier. There's no reason it couldn't. It just really, it should involve a lot, right? I mean, multiculturalism to minor degrees did happen in history. Like, it's not like it's just some concept that appears in the 20th century and then it's a thing, right? It's just a momentously costly, complicated, and very muddy affair, right? I mean, like, accepting other cultures to this day is still, I mean, barely a thing, right? In most countries in the world. So it's just, it should be in the game. It just needs to be balanced more. I also think, to be honest, multiculturalism needs to have downsides, because right now it doesn't. I mean, like, true multiculturalism, radicals from standard of living decreases, right? I mean, that's the one downside. And it's not really a downside, because if you're at that point in the game, there's no real reasons for you to be having giant standard of living drops, right? I mean, just a player who knows what they're doing, barely even knows the game fairly well, they're not going to have that. There's no downsides to multiculturalism, but there are in reality, right? I mean, it should give power. I won't even get into that, but there should be a lot of things that it does cause harm. It's just one of those things that has been given so much power, as I suppose it rightly should, with no downsides, and that's the problem. There's a lot of that in Vic. I love Vic, but it's just a very unbalanced game, right? And multiculturalism is a huge example of that. Same with Navy, right? I just got done writing the naval tutorial I'm going to be posting for the 1.2 update, and after like looking really deeply into Navy, into the files for the game, and figuring out every little minutia of how it works, it's fucking broken. It's so unbalanced. It's equally like kind of not really useful, but also just like overpowered as shit, right? And the game is full of that. It's got a ton of really good features, but they're all not implemented well, which is like the unofficial motto of Paradox Studios, I suppose, but like, it's just, there's so much balancing that needs to be done with a lot of it. And when it gets done, it's gonna be incredible. This game is really fucking good. The valid criticisms of the game is the cost, the fact it was released too early, and the amount of bugs it has. All in completely valid criticisms, but the core features are so good. Anyway, ran over. What mods are you playing with? And how do you have that much progress in 1892? Because it's a huge amount of players in the game, everyone's progressed, everyone's built universities, everyone industrialized ridiculously. The mod we're using is the Babylon Roleplay mod. It's the beta one specifically. It's a mod that we made for multiplayer for roleplay. So I can go find a link for it if you'd like. You know. I only justified bridging multiculturalism because the government worked with minorities to overthrow the regime. Yeah, Austria is like one of the few examples in this game that had like a path to that. But it broke your country. And that's the thing. Like, multiculturalism should come with just radical change. I mean, Austria split into a federal, like, you know, series of countries. The cost of it was very high. And you were forced to address multicultural and cultural issues due to the nature of Austria. So it makes total sense. Countries like France and the Ottomans should be dealing with multiculturalism too, right? They should. France is a huge colonial empire. They've got tons of opposing cultures with free movement to France. Ottomans, same. I mean, like, they should be probably moving towards it at this point. They should be going to it, depending on their government, but the process should be fucking hard. And it's not the player's fault. It's the game's fault, right? I mean, the game itself just makes it fucking easy. So, that's the issue. I really hope after 1.2, there's going to be some changes. I mean, the migration changes in 1.2 are definitely good, but it's more like a band-aid to a bigger problem, and they're avoiding the big changes that they need to do, I think. What's the name of the provinces of Austria? Can you show? Sure. South Tyrol, I assume, yeah. Tyrol, Styria, and Austria. Alright, we are pushing out the revolutionary government in Sweden. Yeah, the Ottomans overtook the Brits. Late game economies are so unstable. Over 4,000. We will need more. We don't have the people for it, though. Our military-industrial complex really needs to grow quickly. Almost below 100, too. We won't get it today. We've got 5 minutes left. No, we're not going to go into Austria. So I also want to describe, we're in the last 5 minutes, I don't know what will happen here. I want to overgo, like, where I want to go in the future with Germany. At this point, what I want to do is just maintain, the Kaiser is basically in power in Germany. It is, like, almost a pre-World War I in real-life Germany. It's a burgeoning empire, technologically advanced. It has a colonial empire, a bigger one than in history. But what I do want to roleplay going forward is I want Germany to basically act. I don't want us to get out of hand with power. I thought about making a play for India and getting it into our market. I'm not going to do that. It'd upset the balance of power of the game and out of RP2. What I will do is if we fight a war with Brits, is I'm going to try and get them to release their colony. So I'm going to basically, in that war, if we do it, in addition to our demands, our push would be for like the releasing of countries and to remove them from the British market, like India. So I won't go for any more probably direct territories, no more colonies. We're sit with what we've got. We will end up releasing Japan. We'll just keep them in our market. Going forward, I want Germany to basically be role-played out, especially with the Kaiser, as like trying to maintain the balance of power for the last 2 sessions, but really only in a manner that keeps us at the head of it, right? We're not at the head of the pack. We'll have a couple other great powers. It's really like us, the Ottomans, the UK, and France, right? Those are the big boys, and Russia to a lesser degree. So just keeping that balance of power to the end will be our main goal going forward. I think is how I want to play out the end of this, which will be interesting. Kind of like historical European balance of power. I mean, it was always about just like keeping the balance, but trying to get yourself a little bit tilted above the others, right? Like we're going to play that kind of game for the last 2 sessions. But we'll see. We still may have a World War II here. Tough to say. Construction sitting idle. Yeah. We're just out of people. I mean, that's the main issue. We've got all our people utilized right now. I think I'm gonna follow Canadian Pagan.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you have any?
No, you're good. What can I do for you?
So, after much discussion, and we saw that you had discussions as well, so we took the liberty of prolonging them. We have decided that this deal is not suitable, as we feel that we have rightful claims to these territories involved, and that if the Germans wish to prevent a acquisition of those territories, they may indeed do so. But we will not back down.
Then we will do so.
Very well.
Out of RP, World War II.
Oh
Yep.
God, no.
In 92.
One more time. Let's go.
Peace in no time.
One more time.
Okay, let's discuss the war goals now before we end it, or is hastening not okay with that?
Yeah, we should have a pause. Well, I mean, the game's about to be over, right? So I think we should just have the war goals discussed with game over.
Yeah, we can discuss it after.
Let's open up World War II, a new channel called World War II.
This will be like the war though, right? So I think it's safe to, in my mind, I think extreme demands on both sides aren't unwarranted, because this war will dictate the end of the game and basically who comes out globally on top for the 20th century. So
yep,
cool.
It's gonna be the turn of the century. Fun blues for everybody.
Yep.
Oh jeez.
This will be a proper World War II. I think there'll be very few people who don't get involved in this one.
Yeah, I think everybody's involved. Every player, at least. I can see.
Oh jeez. I'm doing a special roleplay.
We also, when we're done, we gotta have a talk about the multiculturalism. You, France, and UK have stolen pops from so many countries. You ruined Spain and shit like that, so we gotta have a talk about that too.
Well, I mean, Spain already had their nation ruined by the Americas. They already lost like 3 micro.
Yeah, I know. It's been all the countries. Mexico did it too. Did Colombia do it?
It's just, it's really just because
burgeoning.
the Spanish government is just like so insolvent. And because they have so much turmoil. That's a separate issue, though. That's just like paradox thing. We can discuss it.
When we do, yeah, we got to discuss it going forward, because going into 1.2, migration will be changed a little bit. We got to figure out how we're going to go forward with mandating how multiculturalism works, because the rule set says there needs to be like dramatic RP for it.
Okay, and I will Hammurabae, I have RP'd every single step of multiculturalism throughout the entire game, and nobody else has. And that is frustrating.
You put the papers out, you did the articles with it. But it's also a bigger issue. I want to have us a discussion also with potentially even in the mod, trying to find some way to add some downsizes to multiculturalism.
No, I agree, and we definitely need to have further discussions on it, because this is partially. Here's the thing: I always do all these crazy things because I'm also kind of playtesting as I'm playing.
Oh, I know.
And so I've realized that what we can do is we can actually force laws to be a part of what am I saying? We can force laws to be a part of increasing the institution level. So rather than, you just have to, for example, you just have to get the tech feminism to get an extra multicultural program investment level. We make it so that you have to have like women's suffrage, right?
Yep. We need to. The issue right now is there's a lot of these laws that like you pass it and then boom, you got the benefits. There's almost no downsides. But there's no policy like that in government. There's nothing that doesn't have a major downside realistically. Well, there's a few, but.
So on that vein, I also have a lot of ideas in my whole thing about what's it called? The authoritarian overhaul that also ties into that, because I want to increase the institution cost modifier for multiculturalism, making them just like overall more expensive to maintain. Because like the modifier for investing into multiculturalism shouldn't like go away per se when you finish the institution. Because I netted like a extra 10,000 bureaucracy once that institution was finished.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of things to be discussed about that, but yeah, I've tried.
We definitely have this week. I mean, it's good. Like, we just got to figure out a way to balance it, especially for a roleplay game like this. It's a case of like you just can't dangle low-hanging fruit for players. Even our peers will look at the benefits of a policy like that and be like, "Oh, like Smeagol, why can't I take precious?" kind of thing, right? So we got to give downsides to it.
Yeah, like I fully admit. So when I played the Ottomans, I was looking up like what are Ottoman multicultural movements of the era, and that's how I found out about Turanism, and then
there were.
that.
The Ottomans had a number of like reform movements that would tie right into it. You're not unjustified in going for multiculturalism. It's just that like it's one of those things when it happens this early with no downsides, it really upsets the balance of the game. And then there's the issues like a lot of players losing pops. Like sure, Spain has a horrible government and he was going to lose it anyway. But to the degree that this is, I mean, like it also does ruin players' games too, which is another problem. We got to figure out how to get around that.
That's what to look at as well for the upcoming patch, because that patch, there's a lot of Europeans moving to America. A lot. And that's historical.
1.2, I pray to Jesus that they actually plan on doing a lot more work on it, because, like, I don't know. I've done some playtesting on it recently, and there's so many problems with it, with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that there definitely needs to be some fixes, but... yeah, at least, regardless, we're gonna resolve some of these issues. Because there's gonna be a lot of dead people.
This is, yeah. The kill rate's high enough. Even if we only use squad infantry and shit, he said no flamethrowers, right?
I thought he said no squad infantry until 05.
No, yeah, squad infantry until 05, and then he said he allows any type of specialist. It's just that chemicals are a bit pariah.
No chemicals, so we can't do flamethrowers then?
Yes.
We can't do flamethrowers?
Well, cool. I get it in 2 months, so that's fine. Jesus Christ, yeah, the kill rate on this war is gonna be, like, wild.
Wait. No flamethrowers. This is so sad. Alright.
Big sad.
Alright. Cool, I'm gonna go ahead and stream. This game's done. So I'll be right back 1 second. Alright, guys, we're gonna end here. I was just kind of talking there at the end. We're in here. We're gonna have World War II. So we've got 2 more sessions left before the ending of this game. We'll start a new one for 1.2. We have the update, obviously, for Paradox for Vic, and we're gonna have the update for the mods. I think the next game should be a lot more fun too. Hopefully, we can get some of these issues dealt with, like multiculturalism. The ending, so next week is gonna be crazy. We will start with World War II. If I had to warrant a guess, it will be the Ottomans, the French, and the British versus the Russians, the Germans, the Spanish, the Portuguese, the Mexicans, and the Brazilians. Obviously Canada's puppets will join, like Canada and Australia, which it's ridiculous. They are just so fucking overpowered. Like, it's kind of insane. I may request that not be a thing because it's kind of redonkulous, but then again, like, if Siam joins and stuff like that. So the general split, I think that's how it will go. We're gonna lose a lot of people. Everyone's economy will die, and the winner next week will basically be the superpowers going into the ending of this game. So we are ending at number 1 slot technically. Our economy is really lagged behind. I mean, we're not bad, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. So, all right, we'll end here. Just a reminder, guys, I'm only streaming on Sundays for the next month or so. I may go back to 2 days a week after that. We'll see. I want to experiment with some YouTube stuff. I've got, I think, around 10 to 12 tutorial videos coming out, which will cover every aspect of Vicky 3 for 1.2. And then I have a bunch of other stuff I've been working on too. So just a heads up, only Sundays from here on out. Grand Campaign in the mornings, Vicky 3 RP in the afternoon. So next stream will be next Sunday. I am going to focus a bit more on YouTube. It's just, I enjoy it a lot, and I don't know, it's just a lot of parts of it I like. So I will keep streaming. I will probably go back to 2 days a week in the future. Not sure when that will be. So, all right, thank you all for watching. Let's see if there's anyone to raid real quick, and then we will end. Is there anyone to raid? There's any Vic streamers. They're fucking rare. They do exist. I've seen Vic streamers before. I know they do exist. No one ever fucking streams it, though. Most people are just waiting until it gets better, which is fair, but... yeah. Alright, we'll just end here. Alright, guys, thank you all for watching. I will catch you later. Have a good night, have a good week, and I will see you all soon.